Welcome back to Cannabis in Canada with Jason Wilcox and Miss Vikki Obrien. Sorry for the late delay. We were late out of the gate trying to hook up. It's been a little while since Vicki's been on the show, so we haven't had to hook up two microphones and get everything working at one time. And of course, the light always bothers Vicki, so she wears her glasses. I've got mine on simply because you guys can't see how angry I am over that. Anyway, this week's show, we've got a lot to talk about. Lots and lots to talk about, especially the evolving, the new movement, almost like a new movement has started in Canada to push back against federal government policy regulations that continue to put down our brothers and sisters, both in jail, you know, again, taking their licenses away, taking their cars away, affecting their families, their jobs, all over cannabis. And Vikki and I know is going to want to talk about this because we both walked down Granville Street together and we watched a man hosing people in their tents.
I took video.
Anyway, hosing in their tents. So we'll be touching on that this evening, where these people were being hosed down and you know, where do we draw the ethical lines as a society when dealing with the homeless? When the homeless aren't being violent or disruptive to us, but rather just simply trying to stay warm. So that's something else I want to talk about because it ties into harm reduction, because a lot of people that are in these situations are in these situations through hardship and certainly don't need additional hardship added on, and we could use some programs that could help people. I think that would go a long way.
Well, I think that's the biggest part is the
Can you kill that, please? Sorry.
I was going on Facebook to try and share.
No, use your phone. No, because I'm looking at look at this. See, it's 100%. There's a reason I'm doing it.
Okay.
We're going to freeze and crash. If this crashes, I apologize to everybody. We will be doing the giveaway tonight. As well, we're going to be talking about PTSD. It's that time of the year, and it's a theme for Cannabis in Canada this fall, is that we continue to talk about PTSD and those that are out there. Can you please close that? I just... sorry,
PTSD.
Anyway, PTSD and the people that it affects that are out there, and how serious it should be taken, and how people shouldn't be mistreated that are actually suffering from a fucking thing that makes them go crazy, you know, quite frankly, and can have them kill people. And it's that time of the year to not have to be fucking around with that. So if you know somebody fucked up, needs some fucking help, give them a fucking phone call.
Maybe not with this.
Don't be that asshole that doesn't fucking phone, you know, and don't be that asshole that yells at your friends.
No.
I watched a guy the other day get yelled at and screamed at by his friends, his homeboys, because that's their version of NA. No, I don't give a fuck, man. You don't down a man when they're already down. Now, somebody's suffering from PTSD, and everybody has a past. Somebody suffering from PTSD, man, we got to look at how cannabis can help with that. But I'm not going to get into too much of that. But that's what shook me up the other day. You should never yell at somebody when they're fucking already stressed and depressed. You know? You should never do that. It's all about humanity and the way we treat each other. Anyway, welcome to everybody on YouTube, Facebook, and those on SoundCloud who are listening. I know you guys don't get to see the pictures that we put up, but that's okay. And we hope to get this shared out on YouTube here briefly. I'm going to let Vicki start talking a little bit about some of the stuff that we've seen. Vicki's here for any questions as well around, there's been a lot of people asking about, hey guys, like, you know, oils, creams, we can't get weed, we can't get cannabis, and we want to help, but we're not weed dealers. I had a guy show right up at my door because my house is registered as Cannabis Canada. I don't give a fuck. I tell people right where I live. I ain't a hard motherfucker to find. You want to find me? I ain't hard to find. You know, I'm as raw and real as it gets. I'll belay right on the fucking table and say it how I feel it. At least I mean what I say, and I do what I say. That's what matters. That's what makes a man. On that note, we're also going to talk about the 10th series and continuing. Now, as you can see, this bitch has grown since last week now, hasn't it? Now, did somebody not predict this? Yes, this is the same plant from last week. Now, I told you that what happens, it isn't just that it was staged up. You know, some of you are going to say, oh, it's because it got put into a bigger pot and it just blew up. And that's what happened. That's why the vegetative growth took off. It went from seedling growth into vegetative growth. That's not what took place. Sorry, hon, 1 sec here. That's not what took place. What took place was exactly what we talked about was going to take place. We said, look, this is what's going on with the plant. You know, you need to be ready that this is going to happen. And this is what's happened with the seedlings, and they've all now taken off, and I'm really impressed. I mean, they really stink, actually, for being so early in veg. I'm just gonna let these maybe grow normal. I might do a topping show tonight. I might actually take this one as the topping one because I need one mother anyway. And it's good to teach you guys what we mean by topping and where you would cut the plant. You know, where in the internode spacing you would cut the plant to get 2 heads versus 1. Or if you want to try the FIM methodology, the fuck I messed up routine. You know, if anybody wonders the lineage on the FIM method, it's actually the fuck I messed up because a guy meant to just cut 1 spot and he cut 5 and it grew multiple heads. So good evening to everyone. Good evening, Evelyn, and all our previous winners on the show. I mean, you guys kick fucking ass. You know, I hope you guys had some fun with that high voltage, getting zapped by the fucking voltage. I get zapped by it all the time. But I'm going to let Vikki weigh in here. She hasn't been on the show for a little while I share this around. Vikki, welcome back to the show, hun. I know it's been a while. You've been working hard on your personal recovery, and that's part of the reason, if you see my other headphone, there it is. That's part of the reason I wanted to have you on the show tonight. Most importantly was to talk about, because what we're going to be incorporating into our lives. I've been actually following for the first time. I never thought I'd say this. I'd be following a woman. No offense to women out there, but that I'd be following a woman when it comes to the gym. I was like, I went to one yoga class with her. And I mean, I thought I was like going to croak. And here's these old ladies just laughing at me, you know, and I'm just like, I ain't coming back. I'm never going to do this again. But anyway, this woman completed a 100-day challenge, and for that I bought her a $250 wristwatch, you know, so that she could celebrate. That's the new Versa 3 Fitbit Versa 3, which allows her to be able to better track herself and to celebrate the fact that she completed that 100-day challenge, and she took it on, and she took it on, and she took it on strong. And she went, even in lieu of a twisted ankle at one time, you know, she still went and she sat in the chair and did yoga. Even though she couldn't use that one ankle, she used every other part of her body. And this was all done while being a new, first vegetarian, then vegan. And now she's been a vegan for a very long time. I won't say any more about Miss Vikki Obrien. She can speak for herself. Vikki, go ahead and talk a little bit about plant-based. Because what I'd like to add to our diet is a hemp-based diet. It's going to be these leaves. As these leaves start to come off and we start to not use that, I'd like to start using hemp in some of our salads and stuff. Go ahead.
Well, I'd like to say that, you know what, and I mean, I'm not going to, like, I shouldn't say this because I'm probably, like, you know, somebody's going to call me on this, so I'm going to be very careful with what I say. I can't cure your fibromyalgia or your chronic pain, but I truly believe after living with it for 13 years and learning to, you know, live in more of a remissive state for the most part, with my own pain and my own disorders, my own fibromyalgia, I genuinely believe that I can help other people come to a better place with their chronic pain disorders, their fibromyalgia, neuropathic pain. Nerve disorders are very, very painful. They, you know, they shoot, they stab, they do all kinds of crazy things, you know what I mean? And it can be very overwhelming. Pain is very overwhelming. And so if you're in pain, it's like, you know, it's daunting, it's every day, it's 24/7. You wake up with it, you go to bed with it. When I started this 100-day challenge, the reason I've sort of stayed off the show was because in the middle of it, you know, I didn't really want to get on the air and talk too much about being involved in the 100-day challenge because at the beginning of it, I didn't think I would be able to complete it, to be honest. I signed up for a 30-day and then that turned into a 100-day, and I didn't think I could do it, so I didn't really want to share a whole lot about it. But now that I've completed it, I feel fucking awesome, and I really believe, and I'm so grateful that a couple years ago, my pain clinic really directed me towards yoga as a treatment, not so much as seeing it as a fitness, but seeing it as a therapeutic process. And the more I started to see yoga as therapy and less about losing weight and, you know, becoming physically fit, the more I got involved in the classes. Now I love it, I live for it, I breathe it, I love it, and I believe for the most part, like my pain clinic does, that a majority, if not all, people in pain conditions could really benefit in some way from yoga or Pilates, because it really does work on strengthening your back and strengthening your core. And the stronger your back is, the stronger your core is, the stronger everything from there. So if you have issues like me, I have issues really with my neck, shoulders, and hip. And so my trunk, my kinesiologist got me to work on my torso, on that middle part, the trunk, because the stronger my trunk is, then everything that, you know, comes from that trunk will move, you know, with ease and more flexibility. So again, yoga and Pilates focuses on those areas big time. So, you know, again, if you're new to pain or, you're getting a little bit older, like myself, I'm 45, things are getting a little harder to do, definitely, you know what, shoot me and Jason an email. In the new year, we're going to be doing a lot more like health and wellness shows. So, if you're interested in joining a group about like diet, becoming a vegan, managing your fibromyalgia outside of, your doctor's office. I'm not saying stop seeing your doctor. I'm saying, hey, maybe this could be an added benefit to your the regime that you have with your doctor. I have found what works for me. I would love to share that with others and help them find what works for them. For me, it's been a myriad. I have a toolkit. I have a few different things. This is my primary. I'm not going to lie to people. Without this, I'm not getting very far. Without this, within a few days, I'm back on opiates, and then I'm a grouchy bitch, and I'm all over the place, and I'm moody, and I'm this, and I'm that, and then the pills are kind of driving my life again. I don't want to be back in that cycle. So CBD is this is my trunk. Again, we talk about building that core and making it strong. My core came from CBD oil. So if you're out there and you're new, or you've been out there for a while and you're ready to give up, you know what? Let's talk. Let's talk CBD, let's talk oil, let's talk creams, let's talk rubs, let's talk bath, let's talk, let's just talk THC, CBD, CBG, CBN, the properties, let's talk cannabinoids as best we can possible to best...
Let's talk weed. Let's talk weed. Let's always talk cannabinoids. Let's talk weed.
No, but seriously, let's talk cannabinoid therapies and how we can best...
Cannabinoids.
Suit your health, right? I found what works for me. Let's find what works for you. I truly believe in my heart of hearts, because I feel it in my own life after living with 13 years with fibromyalgia and nothing at all working, basically in my doctor's office. Some things definitely help, but nothing, and I mean nothing, has helped me the way CBD, diet, and exercise. When I put those three things together, I've just gotten better a day at a time, a day at a time, a day at a time. I mean, I'm a few years into this now, so I'd love to share what works. And if you're new, you know what, there's some amazing apps that I will share after the show that, offer things like chair yoga. So, if you're having a hard time and maybe mobility really is challenging for you, there's exercise you can do right there on the couch, in the bed, in that chair, and it's just getting you moving, getting you breathing, getting you connected. And when you're in pain, there's a disconnection with everything, right? I'm disconnected from my heart, my soul, I'm disconnected from all of that stuff. That head, heart, you know what I mean? There's none of it. Yoga has brought me back back into me, back into my spirit, back into my soul, back into things that are important to me, and most importantly, my breathing, getting really back into my breathing center. So, and when you're in pain, you're scattered, you're all over the place. There's some really neat things that are simple, that are easy to do. The Calm app, box breathing. There's some neat things that you can try at home that are like, seconds in the making to really, move through pain a little more effectively, that aren't about maybe popping a pill or, whatever it is for you. So anyways, I've babbled long enough. I'd love to share with anybody that's interested, PM myself or Jason. If you have pain in any kind of sorts, I'm hoping that we can help you.
There you go. Miss Vikki Obrien, everybody. And now the story goes, we've been talking a lot about stuff. Now, again, when I say I follow a woman, I mean, I'm not trying to say that like a caveman type thing. I'm trying to say like, I'm not used to, in the gym of all places, going to advice from a female. But the funniest things, one of the biggest guys I look up to and one of the strongest guys I know, I was supposed to go meet him the other day, and I go out to see him, and he's late for his meeting because he's at yoga. And I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, I gotta actually try and get into this. So I actually tried it. Like I said, I did try yoga, and it's harder than people think.
Oh, yes. And
people could say they want to do that. Now, what makes me and Vikki a lot different than most people in that yoga class is they don't smoke, a gram of fucking shatter and a bunch of weed all day before they go to class, and then after class, and then for dinner, and then when they have breakfast.
Yoga the other day, I was trying to get my shoes on, right? My lighter dropped out of my pocket. This guy looked at me like I was the devil, like, ah!
What are you doing with that? You can't have that in a yoga studio. So we are the stoner yoga studio people. So I'm not the yogi yet. I'm the guy going to the Steve Nash gym, just I've managed to cut, in all realness, I'll tell you right now what because I got us matching Fitbit watches. So
we're doing awesome.
There's no fucking around. Like, you don't do this shit. Like, I actually did 19,000 or 22,000 steps yesterday. I got my 20,000 step badge. So any of my friends out there taking care of yourself, getting fit, taking care of your quality of life, and doing what's important for you and your family and your family's future, which, trust me, isn't just making money. You can't buy health and you can't buy family.
No, you
Two
can't.
of the most important things you should take care of
can't.
before you look at your pocketbook.
You really can't. And and I can't stress this enough. I mean, if nothing else, if the only thing you take from today's show, if you have pain, look into anti-inflammatory foods. What we put into us, it has the ability to help us, or it has the ability to heal us, or it has the ability to harm us. You know what I mean? And everything in the middle. What we're trying to do is constantly work on healing us. My sister just got back from a vacation in Jamaica, which is so rad, and I said to her, I wish that I could take fibromyalgia and just clip it up on a shelf for a few days, like a jacket. You know what I mean? Just put it up on the shelf, up on like a little jacket, pop on the shelf. I'll come back for you in a few days. I don't have that luxury, right? It's been 13 years where I've been in pain every single day. Not one day has there been a day where it's gone. There's been days where it varies. Some days it's agonizing, and then other days it's very manageable. But for 13 straight years, I haven't had one day of reprieve. You know what? And today I found myself smiling and laughing, and I was stopped and got Jason my coffee. The girl's like, how you doing? I'm like, I'm great, how are you? And I was thinking, holy shit, how times have changed. A few years ago, I'd been like, this is just miserable. It's getting close to Christmas. The days are dark. Everything's shit. I'm like skipping out the way, on my way out to yoga, loving life. Now I'm not staying the whole class. I'm really grateful to be here, grateful to be alive. And on my way home, I was thinking, if getting sick and being able to share with others how to get well again, then all of this sickness and all of the 13 years starts to make sense. You know what I mean? The car accidents make sense. Being on opiates makes sense. All that pain, the withdrawals make sense. I am in this moment right now, in real time, sharing that if you are sick, there is a tomorrow. It will get better. I promise you, the sun does come up.
I burned 4,000 calories yesterday. My Fitbit don't lie. No, seriously, I was proud of that. I went 9.86 miles yesterday on the treadmill.
Awesome.
So it tracks your sleep, tracks everything, but what can I say? I had to jump in there and show that.
I gotta say, for anybody out there who's thinking about doing yoga, do it. I'm 45 years old. I think I look pretty darn good. You know what I mean? If you're out there, just try it out. It's
honestly,
amazing.
I was anti yoga only because to me it was just stretching when I first seen it, because it took me back to when I was a kid. Like, basically, when I was a young offender, you had to stretch and you had to get ready in case sports or whatever
Basketball.
came up.
Or whatever.
You have to be able to flex. So, the stretching and stuff like that was stuff that we learned how to do. We constantly were preparing for battle. So, with that being said, that's all I looked at yoga as until I tried it with Vikki. When I tried it with Vikki, I was like, no. That's some hard shit. So then I realized I was like 40 pounds overweight. So on a good note, what I was going to show you on my Fitbit was that I lost 11 pounds.
Which is awesome.
So I killed 11 pounds in 30 days. Which may sound like it's not possible, or I'm just making that up.
He's not.
That's honestly from just straight wearing sweaters and going on the treadmill and just water weight, busting your ass.
But also eating a plant-based diet.
And a plant-based diet.
That has made a huge difference. Don't discount that. Taking the meats out of your diet, immediately, boom. He's down 10 pounds. 10 pounds!
Yeah, but that's not just a diet. That's also, again, water weight. I've shed that weight before. I'm not going to lend that all to veganism.
Yay!
I'm not going to do that.
Terry, I love you and your man. You know what? I love that our men are coming on board. This is awesome.
It's not that I heard it. It's that I watched Game Changers. And again, I'm a man of logic and reason.
Most are.
Science and history. And when you look at how people used to live, there wasn't chem kit trails. There wasn't people crop dusting their fields. There wasn't people doing that shit to the plants. What the animals ate didn't matter. So if we were part carnivore, our teeth would have more sharper fucking razor edges.
Like our dogs.
Like anything else that eats meat. Anything that eats meat has canines, has big sharp teeth.
There you go.
We don't have canines for a reason. But most importantly and fundamentally, when you break it down and you actually watch the science on this, it's actually quite scary, the beta blockers and everything else. And you think about how we look and how early we die. You know, yeah, I want to look at that. Do I think that I'm going to get all my sources? I've been hard. I'm telling you, I eat a lot of goddamn greens in a day. It's hard to try to keep that protein level up. So I still have my protein shakes. They have some animal products. I'm no vegan. I ain't claiming to be. I'm just Jason Wilcox doing my best I can to fucking fight. Hell, I'm a survivor of AIDS, you know, like fucking 26 years, well, I'm 27 years now into HIV. You know, I mean, that's a survivor. You know, I'll live the rest of my life with this now, and I was once told to get 6 months, and you have 6 months to get your affairs in order, Mr. Wilcox. And you know what? I attribute that to cannabis. This wonderful, beautiful fucking plant that we all love so much is what I attribute it to.
Me too.
And this plant is now a couple months old, but I wanted people to see that from seedling, you know, from that little seed. I took you guys from seed, and I told you I'm going to take you to flower, and I want to take you perfect looking plants. I want to show you what good genetics, and thank you to Resin Seeds. Thank you guys. Shout out to Resin Seeds. Best fucking genetics in the world. Yummy is that strain, if you're wondering what the strain is. The other strain that we're growing in there is King Tut. And we're going to be showing all that. Again, we have been showing them all. I just brought this one out to show you guys that explosion that I talked about. Like, as soon as it gets out of seedling growth and into vegetative growth, all of a sudden you'll see this explosion, because the whole time underneath you think your plant's stunted or it's not doing anything. It has to develop the rooting system underneath. And I think that that's the fundamental part. But I am going to play a part. I have a pre-recorded video that you guys will be able to watch on that. I wanted to also show you really quickly. This is something I wanted to throw in with Vikki and I. It's going to be Veganism and Cannabis. Meet 8 companies at Carter to vegans that love cannabis. So the cannabis industry, and it's open up to jail gates. That's right. It's time to open up the jail gates. One that is currently worth over $340 billion globally, according to a report by New Frontier Data, and more information is being released about the benefits of cannabis that states continues to legalize. These figures will increase. The same is true for veganism, and more information is found and released on the number of people ditching animal in their diet increases. The secret is out. Plants heal, and the plant-on-plant diet is becoming more and more appealing. So I want to now start saying, okay, look, I got a garden. I got access to lots of weed, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start to do this. It says the world of plants, vegan plants, based diet, lifestyle, cannabis facts, reports, projectations. They're already looking at this shit because they know what I knew, that we could have made cement. This is food, rope, dope. It's everything in all. It is the mother of all plants, and it is my God.
Well, and see, the thing is about plant-based eating, I'm not saying that everybody needs to be a vegan, right? And I'm not saying that you need to convert, but think about it this way. Most of us watching the show would agree, I think, that cannabinoids heal. That's a plant. You know, and once it was explained to me a few years ago, I was like, well, Vikki, you know, you're doing so well in plant-based healing. Why don't you just take it one little bit further, and a little bit further, and a little bit further? And it was like a little step at a time, a little step at a time. But it really only made sense to me that, yes, plants over pills. I was healing already. So why not continue with a more plant-based diet, a more plant-based life, right? And so the more invested I got in this plant-based lifestyle, the healthier I became, the less pain I'm in, the less migraines I'm
Don't forget our dog's on a plant-based diet too. Maximus is going on a plant-based diet with us. So this is a family thing, and you can follow us on Fitbit. They have a program that's very much like Facebook.
That's cool.
And I know I never thought I'd be saying this, but fucking I'm down for this, because I'm down for you're challenging other fucking 46-year-olds to get their ass up off the couch let's do it. Let's improve your quality of life. Let's smoke weed. Let's do dabs, and then let's go in the gym. Because people look at me like, that guy, dude, you just smoke a joint and go in the gym? It's like, yeah, I did. I'm gonna smoke one when I come out.
And if anybody's out there that's watching, more than once, I'm blazing down, fucking down.
I'm sure we stink up the whole room.
Right, I do. I come into yoga because sometimes it's a small hot one, right? And I'm dank. Some people appreciate, some others are like, But you know what? It's amazing how much better my practice is when I smoke a joint on the way there. Honestly, because I'm not a big joint smoker, but once I started tripping back and forth,
because it's a meditation thing, though.
It is. I throw on my music, I light my joint, I just get really connected to myself and to the universe and to whatever you can, I consider this, whatever you consider your higher power to be, the creator. You get so connected to the universe and all things that's in it. It's such an amazing process, right? I Absolutely love Mary Jane. I have since I was 13 years old. I love the Mary Jane.
And this is the other thing. This is the other thing. Where now there's been some action. Now let's get into this. Just before we switch off to our first video, where we're going to come back and we're going to talk to that stuff. But again, what we see going on in this country. I am a patriot to Canada. I'm a plant patriot. I'm get my little bitch here and put her over here. No offense to the word, but get my bitch, put her right here. Okay. Now this bitch came under attack by the federal government because this bitch was called a drug dealer. This bitch was called organized crime. This bitch said she had mold. I don't see no mold, and this bitch is supposed to kill people.
House fires, killing people, fucking up communities, fucking up schools, fucking up churches, you name it.
But yet, I see a guy, I'm walking down down Granville Street.
Thank you.
And I feel like taking my plant tomorrow with me and walking down and fucking giving the guy the plant, taking his hose and hosing him down. He's actually hosing down these people on the street.
Humans.
Yeah, and it's cold out. We just went through a cold snap. So though Vancouver's the warmest part of Canada to migrate to, it doesn't make it right to hose a human. It's actually assault to hit a human with anything. But because they're street people, they're migrants, they don't have lawyers, they don't have advocates, they don't have people there to stand up for them. And it's wrong.
It was wrong.
Let me finish. For everybody who's been fucking standing by and doing nothing,
right?
It's Christmas time.
What the fuck's wrong with
How can you just walk by and say nothing, do nothing, as a man is sprayed with water in the cold already, who's homeless, just trying to fold up his tent? Because he's not moving fast enough for the street cleaner to get his job done.
So the fucking guy, no, it wasn't a street cleaner.
I wanted to knock the street cleaner out. He's just an old man.
It was a store, and I turned the camera on.
No, that old street cleaner also was part of it.
He was a part of it. I turned the camera on, like Jason said, because they all stopped what they were doing. And I was filming them, and that's what I said, like, where's the humanity? You're shuffling a homeless man down Granville with a cold hose, a fire hose, like literally fire hosing him down the street, man. You know what, if you're watching this and you're out there, like, fuck me, I don't know. I don't think we're done with you yet. I think my problem is that Vikki and I wanted to do harm reduction here in Vancouver. Yeah.
And there's been two things. Federales, you fucked. There's 4 constitutional challenges going through the courts right now that are going up against the ACMPR and the Cannabis Act of Canada. In part or both. So you can get behind whatever case you want to get behind. I can assure you that in January, when the sweeping amendments come in, that they think they're whispering in the background, we're going to take away your plants. No, you're not. The Allard injunction stands. Now, they could theoretically knock the plant counts down for everybody except the standing injunction, and just never ask to have that injunction lifted for the rest of our natural born lives. Now for me, that's good. I get to grow 99 plants for the rest of my life. For everybody else, they get to grow 4.
99 red ones.
No, that doesn't. No, it's not a funny thing, because it's not funny for you guys.
No, you're right.
We fought for this program because we fought for what was right. We knew people needed more than 4 plants. We knew some people needed 4 plants. Some people might need 400. We don't know.
No.
That's not for us to decide. That's for the person and God in that fucking plant to decide. Doctors have no place in this either. But they put the doctors in it, even though cannabis isn't in their books.
And they don't really, because it just hasn't been studied enough. Nobody really knows enough about it. And Jason said this a million times, and you're right, man. No, none of us, including, the best expert, and they'll admit it, based on the lack of research around a criminalized healing property, you know what I mean? We're 100 years behind, man. We're at least 100 years behind. Mm-hmm. Right? We're going to be dead and gone before they catch up, which is sad. I'm just grateful. You know what? My son is going to grow up, and Guinevere, that our kids are going to grow up in a world where cannabinoid therapies are being researched as that. Not as the guy sitting at home smoking weed in the basement. No, it's actually being researched, to combat cancer, HIV, MS, fibromyalgia, MS, neuropathic pain, epilepsy. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Until we've discovered, like you've said a million times over, each one of those cannabinoids, we're nowhere near really having an answer. And it is unfortunate that it's put on our doctors because we're also limited in what the information that we actually have. Thank goodness we have spaces like this for us to share. Again, it may be limited, but my little piece, your little piece, your little piece, your little piece, we put all those little pieces together, and all of a sudden we've got like a little pizza, right? And we're making a little bit more sense of things, and thank goodness for that. I'm very, very grateful for Cannabis in Canada. Always have been, always will be. It's been a big part of my life for a long time. So shit.
I must say, renewing it this year and it being like year whatever really felt good.
110. That's what it feels like.
Seriously, I'm proud of that.
That was freaking great.
We are actually ranked number 9 in the world and I say that not in part arrogance, actually happiness and arrogance. I might be saying that, I don't know, but I'm just saying it's one of those things for me to get ranked number 9 in the world, and you know, I'm not even sure how to use YouTube still. You know, to me, it was a hobby. It was something I did in my basement because I thought what the federal government was doing to medical patients was giving them these pink slips saying, now grow cannabis, not telling them how to get seeds, not telling them how to get clones, and then telling them you're going to get charged if you get caught driving anywhere with plant material. So it's like, how the fuck am I supposed to get my clones to my house then without breaking the law? You can't.
No.
But you're actually not breaking a law, you're breaking a regulation. And when we separate regulations from laws, we realize what criminality is versus regulatory reform is.
Well, I think, you know, and I guess I'm sorry, I'm thinking about regulatory. A friend recently has reached out to us, and again, I spoke about this sort of in the background a couple weeks ago.
Evening, Dano!
No, this is serious.
What's up, brother?
Hey, Dano, what's up?
Sorry, I had to say hi.
Hey, Dano, in the background, I was saying, you know, a friend, this happened to me, and now it's recently happening to one of our friends, where the government, the BC government is saying, based on your health condition, you no longer, whatever the fuck
high
the
voltage
requirements for your opiates. This person was on a lot of opiates because they're in palliative care. So when we have a person who's in palliative care, you would assume, you know, your doctors, the government, everybody working towards them. No, this person is now being taken off of a majority of their opiates because it's too high. It's too this. The regulations have changed. Fuck the regulations. Fuck the BC government. Go fuck yourself. 18 ways to fucking Sunday, and start treating human beings. You're worried about a plant. You know what I mean? It's crazy. They're fucking killing people in this province. They're killing people by reducing their opiates and not giving them things like this beautiful plant over here to access to this amazing oil. You know what I mean? To support that process, to assist them getting over the withdrawals and the pain, and, you know, looking for substitutions, you know, for their opiate use, right? I'm outraged. I'm outraged because, again, it's happening to somebody that we love right now. It happened to me a couple of years ago. It's fucked up that it's still happening. You know what I mean? And it's insane that, you know, more money isn't spent into researching things like cannabinoids. And again, you're right. Sorry, going back to the plant counts. Worrying about plant counts. Don't worry about my plant count. Yeah, my plant count might be high. I haven't used opiates in 5 fucking years, like 3 years. You know what I mean? But I take mass doses. I'm talking mass doses of oil all day long. I dab hard all day. But dabbing doesn't really count. I take mass doses of CBD, mass doses of THC.
Friends, I'm also
this friend that we're speaking about would take, you know, 10 times more than I would. So, you know, should there ever be a count on like a cap on a plant? Never.
Friends, I apologize. I'm not sure why YouTube does not seem to want to allow chat tonight, so I apologize.
Oh, really?
So everybody, come on over to Facebook. Check out. Can you post my Facebook link? Come on over to my public Facebook page where you can join like-minded friends. And as posted in the write-up, oh, actually, you know what? I had a really good write-up done earlier, which had our group and everything. You know, maybe if one of our administrators, Dan, Kelly, any of you guys, can one of you guys maybe post up our a link to our group? Because our group's private, what they've been doing is shadow banning. Shadow banning is when you don't ban officially, and you don't say anything to the owner of the group. Like myself, I own 3 groups, and they don't tell me that they're going to make that a shadow ban. They're gonna make it so my group's less seen by the public. And this is what they're doing with cannabis groups that they couldn't shut down because they were actually following the rules.
Legal framework. Exactly.
They were staying within the community standards.
Yep.
So they couldn't shut us down because we didn't buy no illegal hits. We didn't be no posers, pretenders, or fucking punks.
We're not selling any weed.
You know, we actually not selling nothing online. So fucking, they had nothing to shut us down with. So now what do they come out with? They come out with fuckery, shadow banning.
So I think you're shadow banning.
No, don't do shadow banning. Seriously. YouTube, enough. You can't go ranking people number 9 in the world and expect us to continue. There is global legalization going on right now. And really what this is about, I believe big lobbyists have paid YouTube to friggin' help shadow ban these non-official cannabis YouTube channels and Instagram pages I believe they're fucking shutting them all down, and they're doing, whoever is illegal, doing anything illegal that you even fart sideways, their algorithms are set to shut you down. And only for one reason: lobbyists are paying big money from these corporations who have a legal right to have Instagram accounts with legal weed being shown, that they're going to cut yours down for having pictures of weed, just like mine, just like anybody else's. And it's wrong. This is that quasi-war. I told you guys there was going to be a price war between the underground and the corporations. They're going to lose. Their $16 a gram will never match our $5 a gram. Never. It's just a matter of time of people catching up. Right now, what I'm seeing is a lot of people are reverting back to the medical program, are reverting back to growing lots of plants, and are growing back to their cell phones and just connecting with their patients, instead of allowing the federal government to continue to allow them to suffer. Nobody should be suffering post-Allard, post-RV Smith, post the other 16 constitutional challenges that got us here. I'm sorry if I'm ranting and raving a bit tonight. Ranting. I have a friend who has been dying of cancer and who was told she only had so many months to live not too long ago, or a very long time ago actually, when you think of it in that context, very long time ago. But to me, it seems like it wasn't that long ago that I met her. But she was always my inspiration, and my God, she can't get cannabis now. In lieu of legalization and in lieu of Allard. Her husband was the vice president of the coalition. Most humble people I know, because they won't beg. They don't go out, they don't bother people. They don't put the story out that this woman has survived through cancer when the doctors said, well, there's nothing more we can do for you. And her husband said, fuck you. Cancer will, fuck you. Cannabis will cure. And cannabis cured, but you know what? Her husband's getting sick now too. What happens then? What happens when the caregiver gets sick? Now you got the client sick, you got the caregiver sick, which is often the husband. So now the husband can't do the same fucking job that he used to do. People get fucked up. And who suffers? The very people that made it possible for this whole fucking country to grow. The very people that stood up and fought when nobody else would stand. The people who stood up for justice, liberty, and the freedom to live in a free and democratic country. You know, that really stood up for liberty. Your Section 7 right to it. And they're suffering now. As we all watch these fucking alligator fucking shoes and fucking G. Armani motherfuckers walking around like they all that. And a bag of chicken wings. Only your fucking stock's going down, 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 bitches. And I can tell you, you're going to keep going down like bitches until this is over. If you keep fighting us.
Well, it's not just that. Our government has set our regulations. The regulations are such, you know, the oils are shit. So, you know, in saying, like, you know, I'm glad Christopher's growing up and I'm glad Guinevere's growing up in a situation where...
Oh, shit, I left that on there.
That's a good thing, and I'm super grateful for that. What I'm not happy about is the, you know, the caps on oils. You know, the milligrams are shit. If I were to die right now and I hadn't disclosed my information to Guinevere and Chris, they wouldn't understand that the fucking, you know, the shit that they're picking up. Because my son's in Ottawa. He's going to university. Once in a while, he stocks at a legal store. He does. And he picks it up. He mostly does black market. Once in a while, they'll stop and they grab some edibles, right? So I sent him some last week. I'm like, son, those are not going to be any good. Because he's like, the edibles aren't really, you know, right? I sent him some last week. He was like, those are bomb. Right, they're so much better.
They fucked us up,
like,
though.
Of course they're way better. They're fucking 50 milligram candy strips, right? They're going to get you fucked up. So, of course they're better. But you know what? All kidding and joking aside, that's fine because he just wants to have a good time with his friends. What if he had cancer? You know, what if he's walking in there because he's having seizures and actually needed CBD oil to, you know, for a real fucking health problem? Like, good luck getting it in there.
I know some of y'all are thinking, why don't you just go open a GoFundMe account or something? I'll tell you why. Because what happened with the result, now being the former president of the coalition and the founder, and quite frankly, myself and my friends, we came up with some pretty improvised ways to make money. Now, the other drug dealers and sideliners, they fucking seen how to do that too.
No.
Only they want to make it to feed themselves, pay their bills, and fucking stuff their pockets. And that motherfucking bothers me.
That's pretty gross.
And we have someone like this that's suffering. So people say, why won't you do GoFundMe account? Because people GoFundMe think it means actually GoFundMe than fund them. I say get the lawyer to open a trust account so that all the money you donate goes to the lawyer and that the client can't fucking touch it. Like we did in Allard. That's the part I don't understand.
As for our friends, I'd love to see a GoFundMe account
I
started.
think that's where I'm going with this. No, this is what I'm thinking where I'm going with this is because if my friend can't get access to proper cannabis and she is I don't even know how many years total survivor. I mean, it's been at least 6 years since they told her she has 6 months to live or something like that. It's crazy. Her story should be in every fucking book now because of her and her cancer clinic. You can walk in that motherfucking cancer clinic and it's now listed as cannabis like number 2 or number 3 on the list for what you use for side effects of chemo. That's how much they've seen, how much it's helped her, kept her alive. They can't have no explanation for why cancer is just, it's not going into remission and it's not going active. It's just staying fucking non-growing until she stops the cannabis.
And then boom.
And unfortunately, her husband took an injury, and when her husband took an injury, he could not make those fucking plants anymore at the same volume and the same level she needed. Of course, her titration, like with her opiates and her painkillers, are going to go way the fuck up. But you have to feed the endogenous system. You're fighting cancer.
Fuck, man.
This woman is a trooper, is a fighter beyond fighters. I've never, in all my life, I ain't seen a fighter. I've seen some pretty fucking strong people, and I've seen some pretty big fights.
Goddamn.
But this is a woman of pure grit, and she is so humble and so kind and so gentle about it that, god damn it, if anybody deserves a real account or some real fundraisers done, that's something we should be looking at. And at the same time, looking at what legal challenges do we need to prepare for in the new year. Because I never thought I'd be saying, I don't want to lead this charge. I want to follow a leader. Somebody's got to pick up the reins and say, I'm going to lead the next movement, because this movement has started. It started in Ontario. It's going on now. It's going on across this great nation. I fucking love it. It pumps me up.
So do I.
You know
love
what?
It. Same here.
Because it's time to fucking stop hurting medical. Medical paved the driveway medical paved the driveway to legalization.
It did.
16 constitutional challenges, while everybody else sat back and bitched and complained about the CDSA. While holding up your signs and making your speeches on stage at protests did not change the law. You know what changed the law? The fucking federal courts did.
Yeah.
They overturned the law. Because people either got charged, like Owen Smith, and he overturned the law, or people charged the government, like I did, in the case you guys know as Allard. That's how it goes down. So in January, when the government comes out with their amendments, if they even fart sideways, trying to fuck with my plant count, based on what? They better have some pretty goddamn sound science and pull some fucking goddamn, they keep saying, we don't got enough, hold on, let me finish please. We don't have enough research, we don't have enough research, we don't have enough research. They better pull it out their fucking ass in time for trial if they really get me going. I tell you that fucking much.
I will camp out, and mark my words, I'm saying this right now on our show. I will camp out on my MP's fucking public lawn, the little fucking part of your lawn, the front bit of where your street is. I'm gonna camp out there. If you fuck with my plant count, you already took opiates away from me, which is good. I'm a few years later, so I'm grateful. But I wasn't blessed that day when I went away to visit my family for a month and I was on a taper. It was horrendous. It was horrendous. If you fuck with my cannabinoids, because it's way up here to compensate for the opioids you took from me, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to camp out on your lawn. And I'm going to fuck with your life.
Well, it's not just the whispers has it that the government, and now I don't think they'll do it next year. You got to understand that when they do these things, they do it by first introducing what their proposed regulations are. Then they say they're going to have an oversight committee that's going to review any public feedback they get, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, in about 1 year's time from January 1st, they will seek to remove, I believe, the medical patient plant count formula, which is 5 grams, 25 plants, 10 grams is 49 plants, etc. So there's people out there with 400 plant licenses, and some of y'all are saying, fuck that, why the fuck would they need that? And I'm going to demonstrate it on this show, because you know what, I'm going to be adding a plant-based diet. Now I want to say something here on that note. Could I take this right now, because I'm going to be making a bunch of clones, so I'm going to have a bunch of big families left over on this fucking mother one day, right? Let's just say I take all the families off. Now if it's still in veg, it's going to have very minimal, if not decimal, trichomes on it, because it's not in flower, and because I grow under 24-hour lighting, it's just fucking constantly growing, so it's in full veg. So again, these leaves have omega-3, 6, and 9. They're great for fiber. But aside from that, it's like eating kale. Now, let's fast forward. This plant's in full flower. There's a big bud here. There's a big bud here. There's all kinds of fucking glistening trichomes all over the fucking leaves. Now, talk about that. Cut a motherfucking bottom leaf off this. Cut a couple buds off. Fucking throw that shit in your blender.
Boom.
Boom. Blend that shit up. That's what juicing was really all about. Because when you take your cannabinoids that way, you take those buds raw right off the plant, throw them in that fucking juicer, juice it up, drink it back, and boom, you don't get high. And that's how you treat motherfucking cancer. That's how you treat motherfucking Parkinson's. That's how you treat going to fucking work and the boss don't know you're stoned. If you really want to be medical. Because cannabis is so associated with reefer madness and getting high that we've lost sight of the cannabinoid spectrum. And so much has been, like Vikki touched on, so much has not been fucking explored. We can't just look at the beginning fucking cannabinoid spectrum, as Vikki mentioned. You know, you got THC, CBN, that's the main two that they're talking about. But there's CBG, there's CBN, there's CBC, there's so, if you go down the whole line, there's 113 phytocannabinoids existent in every strain of cannabis. Only in different variations and ratios, just like a person. We all have different genetics, so does the cannabis plant.
So think about what we've treated just with the few that we've fucked around with, right? Like, think about what's in there. My God, my imagination tells me we have virtually every cure for every disease known to man, right? I'm not playing here. I really believe that. Otherwise, our body would not have an endocannabinoid system. It just wouldn't be there. We wouldn't have it in our breast milk. It wouldn't be present in our bodies.
Hey, no, explain that, Vikki. Breast milk. Explain it.
There's we're passing cannabinoids, right? We're passing.
What do you mean by that? We.
Oh well, I would be passing cannabinoids on when I was breastfeeding, which I didn't know, on to Chris and feeding his endocannabinoid system. I'm completely unaware, oblivious, knowing that I was doing that. But why would that?
Was that because you were smoking weed? Like, would that happen to somebody that didn't smoke weed? Would the same cannabinoids come out of the woman that even if she never touched weed in her life?
My understanding is yes.
It is.
Yes. Yeah, my understanding is yes.
Your mother, naturally,
yes.
You can Google this shit if you think I'm fucking just making this up.
No, everyone.
Every mother naturally feeds the endogenous system.
That's what I thought.
That's why when its discovery was so great to the medical people. This is why Dr. Sanjay Gupta, when he seen the baby stop seizuring, people knew Parkinson's, fucking MS, friggin' seizures, so many things, grand mal seizures, so many things could get treated. It was like, my God, do not dismiss this plant. But Big Pharma couldn't have it, just like concrete companies couldn't have it. You notice how they're now making houses and they're making products out of hemp, and they're going to last 100 years. Imagine that.
Forever and a day.
Just imagine that. Now I would remind everybody, Google this shit. Henry Ford makes a car out of hemp. Just Google this shit because they knew about it in the 1900s. But they also knew that if they built those cars out of hemp, that fucking they would be indestructible for 100 years and nobody would buy a second car. So kibosh that fucking idea. It was brilliant, but they kiboshed it. We'd had the fucking cars, they'd be as old as the pyramids. Like, fuck.
Basically, yeah.
Like, seriously, where I'm going with this is that you're just seeing the real, finally, like I said, whether it's rope, dope, or fucking, or building materials, you know, it's what cannabis can be used for. It can be used for food. It can be used for rope. It can be used for fucking dope. And when I say dope, I mean in the context of medication.
Yeah.
Some people think that just taking the stress away is not a medication. I would say yes, it is. They have diazepam for the exact same reason. And Ativan and so forth. And all the PAMs, for that matter. And to all my friends on YouTube, I didn't shut the chat off. YouTube did. Maybe they don't like us talking so much in YouTube anymore. You know what? They're shadow banning us across the world. And even though we're ranked number 9, I appreciate that, Google. Thank you very much. But YouTube, Facebook, stop the shadow banning on cannabis channels. Stop trying to silence the voice of the people. We're a free and democratic country. This is not the Middle East. You know, we do not have to totalitarian fucking life. What?
My chat's there.
What?
My chat's there. Maybe it's just your chat.
Well, maybe they shut my chat off, so I can't talk to you guys.
I can see it.
Bastards.
Hold
Well,
up.
how the fuck does that work?
Anyways, I did share the link because, I shouldn't say anything. I'm not sure where we're doing the giving. I'm just going to show
Yeah, because we're either going to do when we do the giveaway, we will be doing the giveaway. As always, on the Sunday night show, we do the high voltage giveaway. Tonight, we're going to be going a little bit longer because Miss Vikki is on here, and we got a lot more to talk about, including the PTSD. I really want to get into that and into how that ties into the homeless person on the street. I mean, if that motherfucker ain't suffering from PTSD from sleeping in the fucking street, you know, I mean, I can only imagine one night in his shoes.
Right?
Sleeping in that fucking tent, no space heaters, no nothing. And it's fucking cold. I mean, I can't even walk my dog around the block without coming in and fucking, my God, I got to sit in front of the fireplace because I'm a little bitch. You know, because after I grew up in Ontario. But then I look at that guy and I'm thinking, bitch is hosing. Man, if somebody hosed me with a hose, I'd bust that motherfucker up the side of the head. But I get it now. These are homeless people that they just throw in jail. They lock them up and it's wrong.
This man, this was down Granville. If you live in a city, you know exactly what I'm talking about. His tent was atop of a grate, a subway, a grate, a city grate, because that's the only heat that he was getting. That's it. I mean, and he's being hosed off of his fucking tent that's atop of a grate because he's just trying to get some steam to heat himself. And this asshole comes out from the hair salon and hoses him down. And
again, I can see the chat now.
As you know, once I turned the camera on and we turned it off, you know, maybe at some point I'll post a video this week, you know, make sure you don't support that hair salon. I certainly will not be supporting that hair salon. Not anytime soon. So yeah, if anybody else is interested, I can definitely share that video with you.
Hey, P, you know what, P, on YouTube? Hey, bitch, you're blocked. Bye-bye. Have a good night. Love you.
Why?
I just have to fucking let him know before I kick him off the show, that's all.
Are you sure you...
Yep, positive. There's only so much I'll take of anybody spouting off, and if you guys didn't think that I noticed that, yes I did, and our administrators, thank you for putting them into chat, and don't feel free to, or don't hesitate to ban when we get people wanting to come in and just spam messages, especially when their name is P. You know, if their name is just letter P, it's probably a good indicator that it was a fast-made account just to come in and spam us. So you got their 5 minutes of fame. Now you got your 2 middle fingers up that I love to give to people, and we'll go on from there. Sorry, Vic. Keep going. Sorry.
That was funny. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I'm like, shit. It was funny anyway. So.
Well, this fight goes back to 2000. Well, for me, I've been sick for 26 years. So after being sick for a quarter century, I've been fighting for medical patients on the World's AIDS stage. I've been fighting on patients on the actual stages across this great nation. I've been fighting on national committees for cannabis in Ottawa long before there was ever an Allard. Hell, I sued the city of Abbotsford police for cutting my plants down long before I formed a national coalition to take on the government, 15,000 members strong. Yeah, motherfuckers, we raised an army. We kicked ass, we took names, but you know what? We did it organized and we did it right. And we didn't have the wrong drug dealers in sight. We didn't have people in there trying to fucking flex their might or show how much money they can make or trying to pocket money on the side or trying to make money on their own. We caught some. We threw them out of the coalition. Lord knows, I was the first one to fucking throw people out based on ethics. Everybody calls me the big bad bear. Well, yeah, the big bad bear because, you know what? Try being the president of 15,000 fucking medical patients fighting for their gardens. They're already stressed out. They all got different ailments. They all live in different regions of Canada. So they all have, it's very, very hard as a president to make all those people happy. Then you got fucking 5 lawyers on your legal team that want to fucking bitch you out because all those people are unhappy. That's what it is if you want to fucking take this shit on. You want to take it on and you want to fight the fucking government, that's what it takes. You either need your brothers and sisters to love you, or you may as well fucking just let everybody else be above you. Because you can't lead if you can't fucking look after yourself first. And you can't lead if you don't know what you're talking about. Some of us have been doing this 26 years, and unlike Mr. Emery and Miss Emery, I don't give a fuck about the recreational community. Until they get sick and they recognize we're all medical. The government can say non-medical all they want. As soon as the World Health Organization reclassifies cannabis to be a medical, I'm going to be the first on the Cannabis Act of Canada to rechange its entire language, if not put it under lawsuit for falsifying the Canadian people and deterring them from a cannabis so that people stay on pharmaceuticals. Because they give them such low doses that fucking, of course, they're going to say the cannabis didn't work. You said the cannabis would work.
I know.
I heard that already from my own family. You said the cannabis would work. It didn't fucking do shit. Well, you're right. Compared to the pharmaceutical, of course it didn't do shit. And you also bought it from an LP. Sorry to all the LPs out there, but you're fucking dope as shit. Hey, I'm keeping it real here in the 604. You can't be a voice of the underground. You can't be the voice for the patients and say that fucking you're not remaining the voice of the patients. I'm a plant patriot, first and foremost. I love teaching. I love coming on and teaching. This series is still a series. Like, I'm coming on each week showing you guys this was a seed. I showed you this from germination, from day one. I'm going to show you this till it's done. And you're going to see a finished plant. When there's 8 of them, 2 different strains. And any questions that come up, I'll happily answer them. This is a grow show. What you're seeing is a lot of passion come out because here in Canada, the federal government of Canada being the footprint for all you motherfuckers who think, like, hey, the federal government of America just legalized. You think we didn't see that coming? I told you guys you were next to legalize. Y'all thought I was crazy. I talked to many of my American activist friends. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to name you guys, but fucking come on, Oregon. Come on, California. Let's get with it. Let's wake the fuck up. Now, come on, Jersey. Michigan, where I ain't hearing you. You see, this is what's going on, is now you're federally legalizing. Your bank trucks are no more. Your armored cars with your money. And the way that you're doing shit, because you're not doing it through the banks or the IRS. Oh, things are going to change now. Things are going to change a lot, just like it did here.
Yeah, they sure did.
It's going to change because you know what? Big corporations, they've already got it hooked in with the banks, hooked in with the government, paid off politicians, paid off doctors, paid off clinics, rented fucking buildings. They got it all infrastructure set up. They had it in Australia when Vikki and I went to Australia. Halfway around the motherfucking world, Tilray, who's here on my island, here in BC, those motherfuckers are selling $700 fucking oil halfway around the world already. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? This is global legalization and monopolization of the people. Of the Commonwealth people.
Well, and I'm not sure if it's still a regulation. It could be completely debunked at this point. But when we were in Australia a few years ago, this was a current regulation. A patient from Australia could come to Canada and get 3 fucking months, carry 3 months, fly back to Australia, thousands of dollars later with their oil, and at the time we could only carry how many grams? It's like, wow. So a person who doesn't even belong to this country could come to Canada and transport more cannabis as medicine
across.
than we could.
Yeah.
Right? Wow, it was like, what?
Because we're restricted to 150 public limit, public carry limit.
This is super whack. Whatever, money talks, right?
But then it's crossing international borders too.
We couldn't even do that. Like, fuck.
How the fuck do you cross international borders? But you know what? Tilray has import-export licenses to go all around the world, including in Bolivia. Look into this shit. Follow the money. Follow the stocks. And I'm glad to see that some of the corporations are failing. And the reason I say that is because without these corporations failing, we do not stand a chance in getting rid of them. And it's not that we need to get rid of them. We need to get them to settle down. And it's not so much just them. No. It's their lobbyists, these big titans lobbyists, the big money that's going there, the cops that are sitting on these boards of directors that they think we don't see. The general public eventually are going to hear shows like mine. They're going to hear shows from other people. My message gets to other people through. I hear my message sling. It's like a boomerang comes back and hits me in the face. Someone tells me my own message. And I'm just like, damn, I just put that out on my show like a week ago. And it slings back to me from Ontario. I'm like, fucking, that's awesome. That means that we're doing the right fucking thing. We need to prepare. We need to get ready. I once said this in 2012. We need to get ready to take on the government. So when they make the move, we're all prepared to take them on. That still stands. We need to be prepared to take them on. And what I mean by that, legally. Now, it's so hard to raise funds right now because there's too many people out there. Shanksters, fraudsters, People that try to be fucking, again, they're going to be out there raising money, but there's going to be no accountability. So the first thing I can suggest to anybody that's donating money, if you're going to donate and you think that you're doing it for a good cause, ask why it's not going to the lawyer, or donate to the lawyer. In lieu of the client. The reason I say this is because I was accused of this, and though I didn't do anything, when I see someone actually doing it, it disgusts me. So I hope that if you're donating that you just be careful. Anyway, what medium am I using for the yummy here? Right now, believe it or not, I went this time with 80% cocoa and only 20% pro mix. I wanted to have some irrigation in there, but I wanted to have a lot more. It's a lot better for the feeding regimen. When you're, I go organics anyway, so there's a lot of microbial action. When you're dealing with microorganisms, and you want to make sure it's basically organics at its finest. And organics are hard to flush out. You have to prepare for that. So I'm using Medi 1 by Green Planet Organics, which is a 1 part. That's it. That's all I use until I go into flour. And then I use Finisher. That's the only sugar I add. It's basically you're adding sugar to buff up your plant. That's all you're doing. You're giving it electrolytes and other shit. It's not really electrolytes. I guess I don't know what it would be in the plant world. This plant almost looks like it's auto flowering. I swear to God. The way that I looked at these leaves, I should show you guys here. You'll see what I mean. It almost looks here, if you look at it, like it's almost starting to auto. And I don't know. Again, these seeds came from Spain. They were mailed to me from Spain, and I decided to try them out. And I said that I would run them, and it would take me a little while to run them. Because one, I don't like running from seed. It takes an extra month out of my time versus growing from clone. I'd already have my next crop ready to go. So growing from seed, you don't want to do. But if you get a strain like Yummy that's over 30% THC, so they claim, and the way it smells, and you're able to get first generation, from seed, then you got a mom that you can use for a good year if that strain works for you. Different strains for different pains. Yeah. This strain might work for me and it might not work for Vicki. I already made one for her earlier this year. I called it West Coast Wilcox. That was the only strain I did this year that I actually bred. Breeding a strain is not easy. Me getting some feminized seeds given to me easy, that's easy. But taking 2 strains and saying, you know what, I think this has what this needs, but based that there's going to be more of the male in the female, but the female is going to produce more of the male genetics. You really got to look up on this shit, the X and the Y chromosomes. You have to understand all this shit when you're looking at the fucking plants. And when you get it to the breeding stage. Or you can just take 2 plants and let them cross and hope for the best. That's most of the stuff that, again, I'd say 90% of the strains you're smoking right now are going to be hybrids, period. Now, we're also going to talk about today.
Let's do the giveaway.
We do got the giveaway. Well, you know what? I'm going to fucking take this break.
Let's do the giveaway.
I'm going to take this break to give you guys a chance. Again, I don't fuck around here because what I did is I let one of the winners, and if you're laughing, I let one of the winners go. I blocked that person. They're no longer on the show, and they'll never be able to get back on the show. They'll have to create another account, and they'll have to pretend there's somebody else to try and get back on the show. But then they'd have to create a new email account. They'd have to create a whole bunch of shit because I really checked out who they were. I don't like people that fuck around with us. I told you, if you don't do the steps, don't bother playing. Don't mess with the game. It's a $200 to $300 giveaway every single time, and we're closing in on Christmas.
Ooh,
we have a
nice.
big Christmas giveaway coming up. Can you grab another gram there? We got a Christmas giveaway coming up. I've got a few things. That was hot oil you fucking spilt on me.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, we got Christmas giveaways coming up from our sponsors and a bunch of different things going on. So we don't want people fucking around. So that person that got blocked and got booted out, if you happen to know him, if he's talking shit about us, well, now you know why he got booted off. If we say don't fuck with the game, don't fuck with the game. If you don't want to play, don't do the steps. If you want to play, read the write-up. The steps are there. Vicki will post the steps into the chat. The only question is, do I do it on Facebook, or do we do it on YouTube? And I'd love it. I love you guys, like, because it's hard for me because I love all of our supporters. You know, we got a bunch of people on YouTube, we got a bunch of people on Facebook, and both of them now keep the record. See, before Facebook was the only one that kept the record the next day, so I could verify in case there was any dispute. I want to make sure that who you are. I want to make sure you send me an email, and I want to make sure that you actually went to the high voltage site, that you did the step that you were supposed to do on Instagram. And if you didn't sign up at my website, that would be about the only thing I would accept, because I know that some people are having trouble signing in at the website. Even Vikki had trouble. So I get that. Yeah. So some parts I'll let go. But when it comes to saying you couldn't do the Instagram step, no, man, you're gone for that reason. And if you've already changed your name and come back on my show and you're wondering why I banned you because you fucked with my game. I really like my games, so please don't fuck with them. Love you guys, but don't fuck with them. It's that simple. Anyway, when we get back, we're also going to be talking about, there it is. He's going to give me a 12-minute break here so I can let Vikki stretch. I can stretch. During this 12-minute break, now this is the 10th series. You guys want to know where these plants are being grown in, what environment they're being grown in, how simplistic. Now again, I did this for you. This address is constitutionally protected under ALERT. I grow in a tent for you. I want people to know you can grow 4 plants or you can grow 8 plants, whatever. If you're medical, if you're not medical, whatever it is, but at least you can grow your plants in this tent in like a ghetto type style. You'll see, I don't have it all fancied up and dickered up to make you fucking think how cool it is that I have such a cool decked out room. No, I got it ghettoed up so I can show you how easy it is that you can make your own fucking pound of weed. And you can do it with one light, and you can do it cheaply. And I'm talking 50 cents to $1.50 a gram, depending on the fucking grower and depending on the equipment being used. On that note, we'll see you in 12 minutes. Hey, welcome back to Cannabis Canada with Jason Wilcox. We are starting the 10th series, and it's going to be a badass series. It teaches you how to grow for 10 cents a gram with Gorilla Tents. Now, Gorilla Tents are the only ones that have proven so far to me to be truly smell-proof, durable, and as we'll show with LED lighting, why I say 10 cents a gram. Most importantly, those of you who haven't seen tents, what can be set up in your living room, in your bedroom, relatively easy. The reason for these windows will be about climate control, and I'll be talking a lot about that today because no matter what you grow in, tent, grow basement, grow warehouse, the climate control is always the same. You have to control it. You have to dial it in. You are Mother Nature when you're the grower. So these windows are actually so you don't change the climate in the room. For the purpose of this video, of course, I'm going to have to open it up and change the climate. So to open it up and access your room. Right now I got a couple of God buds going from Jordan of the Isle. Shout out to Green Planet Nutrients for the Medi-1 nutrients that were donated to make these organic babies grow. These are from seed, and a shout out to Jordan Seeds for making these babies grow. I cannot express enough when you look at this under LED. Anyway, I'm still even, every time I come in here, I'm impressed with how well they're doing because of the fact they're LED. So for the first time up here, we got Spectrum King. Check them out, SpectrumKing.com. And this is the King Spectrum. This is only the 400. There's a 400 and a 600. So if this is how well the 400 performs, you can figure out how the 600 will perform. I'm happy with just what I'm seeing here. It's quite impressive. And I need to first explain what's going on in the room. Because, as you can imagine, these would stink, you know, if these are in your place. So normally your door is closed. With it closed, you then have your filter. This is very important too. Very cheap, you know, $20. It's a humidistat. It's cheap. There's no reason any grower shouldn't have this. This is your climate control. This little $20 investment will keep you from failing your crop and from many problems with disease and or molds or anything else if you just keep it dialed in. So what we got going on here is a fan back here that is a main oscillating fan that actually just sits here. It usually doesn't oscillate, sorry, but it does a circular vortex, which we'll get into. This here is your can. Now, I want it there because it's a can that's going to scrub the smell. No matter what, like I said, 100% get rid of the smell. Be a good neighbor. So control your climate, control your smell. This is your fan. There's a hyper fan in here. Check out hyperfan.com. Best fans available. Check out Pacific Northwest Garden Supply all around British Columbia. They're the sponsors of the show here, and we gotta love this when we see their products being used in all these various grow rooms. It's my pleasure to be able to do this. And then we look at how you're able to control those. You'll actually hear this. I'll just go quiet for a second. So that's the fan on full. So that gives you an idea, guys, what I mean by dimming up, dimming down. Now that, of course, is way too much. I have it way down, circulating the air. I have no intake. I don't need an intake fan. This does enough exhaust. It's pulling enough air out of here that at any given time, the tent's sort of almost negative pressuring in. You don't really want that. You want to have it just borderline where the tent is just happy, but you're circulating the air on a regular basis. There's air movement, which is the fans, and then there's air exchange, which is your exhaust and or intake. And they work, of course, if you're pulling air out, naturally you're sucking air in through any other areas. So any other holes in here, which there's a couple in tents, will naturally pull it in. So this is where growing cheap. When you go only a fan and a light and a couple of cheap little small fans and then a really nice tent, you're actually able to grow. You know, what I'm proving here is basically every 60 days you can pull between 1 to 3 pounds if you're going from clones. And if you're going from seeds, it'll take you a little bit longer. These ones were done from seed. And in a lot of the series is not on how to grow from seed or anything else. It was more to show the flowering in the final phases. These still have 3 weeks to go to finish flowering, so they're far from being done. I mean, I can pick them up once again. You can see the bud structure, and you may wonder why didn't I cut it off or cut the lower branches. You'll see you got a little weight coming down here. The only reason it hasn't been cut off is because it was all natural. It was just showing the most basic patient that if they want to grow right now under the ACMPR legally and not wait for July or the politicians to tell them it's okay, they can start doing that now. And something as small as a branch hanging over, because it's getting top heavy, you can just strap it to another branch with a zip tie and just keep enough space between them, of course, for air and stuff, because you don't want to block off the air. Like I said, air circulation matters, but you don't want your branches hanging down either. You want to make sure that they're able to get to some sort of light. So I've linked them together. I no longer have a hanging branch. It's an easy fix, but I still have a happy plant. Now what's going to happen is this bud structure is going to continue to develop and fill out and really demonstrate why indicas, anything that's growing above the 30th parallel, grows beautifully under full spectrum LEDs. Now remember, white light, you're talking full spectrum LEDs. There are a couple that have different colors that claim to be full spectrum, but this has been the only light spectrum king that's proven to me to be worthy to say to a patient or to an end cannabis user that if you're going to grow 4 plants or if you're going to grow 10 plants, whatever you choose to grow in your garden, you'll be able to do it for 10 cents a gram. Now you'll also know the only other investment in here is a little cheap humidifier that you would normally buy for your bedroom or whatever. Now, because like I said, in the winter time, you'll get rooms that are cold. And if your room gets cold, you want to, it's not so much cold, but it's dry. And that dry air is not good. Your plants will close up and it's not good for humidity. You also don't want to go too high with your humidity or you'll get bud rot and other problems. That's where dialing in your climate control comes in. So why is that humidity in there? That's dialed in with this fan to always keep the room, like right now, because the door is open, it's going down, but it should be up around 55%, which is my comfort zone. But to each their own, you know, different growers will say different things. I often say the proof is in the video and in the results. So again, this is what's LED testing. This is my second time testing these, and here's another example of That's the other thing, is that they don't get a lot of air movement, and LED, they're not growing as fast, so you don't get this girth that you would normally get, you know. So it'd be better if I had more air circulation going on in here. That would be something that would definitely help, but I don't. So that would be an example, but I wanted to bring this to you guys as an opening so you guys can see how this finishes out. There's another branch as an example that's hanging. Just linked it to its sister branch without taking up any space, without making them fight each other and not causing any bud rot scenario. And because there's only a few plants going in this again, the testing, it's a testing zone. We'll get some close-ups. You'll see lots of B-roll of the way the bud structure is developing on these plants, and it's just gorgeous. And you can tell there's no autumning off yet. When I talk about autumning off, that's the plants when they start to change to yellow. That's what they're supposed to do naturally. I want you to think about in the winter time, you know, or in the fall time, we call it autumn for a reason. The trees change color and we all say, wow, look at how nice those trees look, man. They're, you know, we go for nice drives and we enjoy the look around. And the plants do the same thing. So right now these plants, rather just chunky and surprising for an LED. In fact, this fan was off for a little while because I was worried about having too much air circulation. I didn't want to get wind burn on the plants. So now I'm actually cranking it up now that we're getting a lot more moisture. Here's another big hanging branch down here. So just another example of why you want to keep zap straps nearby and stakes if you're going to work with LEDs, because you're not going to get the same cellular structure in the plant that you're going to get normally. But the easy fix is really just a zap strap. It's not rocket science, and it's something that will save you a lot of hours of frustration. See, now my plant's up and I don't have to worry. I even may have to strap these two up, you know, even further now to this one, just because I may have to daisy chain it. So I'll just grab it onto this one. I'm not causing any additional stress to my plant, and I'll strap it onto the one that's actually fixated to the center pole. So this is where common sense growing goes, and I'm kind of doing this on the fly. Didn't expect to run into this problem, but nonetheless, there's an example of how not to do it. Alright, so we daisy chained it through and lock it on, and that should keep them up higher and still not have them fighting each other, right? So just another example of what to do in there. And again, I wanted to bring this again. This is Tense 101, and most importantly, remember, if you run a sativa, and I'm going to show you a couple of sativas that are going in here in the next video, and that will show you the difference of how sativas stretch and elongate. If they're sativa dominant, they'll show genetic patterns that are from below, again, the 30th parallel. And if you understand your land races and understand cannabis, it just simply won't grow. Indicas need less light, will grow better, you'll get better yields, and you'll get your better bang for your buck. 10 cents a gram, you can pull a pound out of a 5x5 or 4x4 foot tent. That's a pretty good deal. Most importantly, always be a good neighbor, control your smell. That muffler up here is one other thing I didn't really talk about, was that silver can. The muffler killing the sound of that fan is about the peaceful enjoyment of the suite, you know, or the apartment or the house, and most importantly, yourself. You don't want to listen to a lousy, noisy fan. I showed you when I crank it up how noisy it can be. That's with the muffler on. Imagine if I didn't have one on and I had to run it at full tilt. You know, in this case I don't. You know, I really can keep it right down to minimum. So anyway, this is Jason Wilcox with the first episode of Tense and Cannabis Flowering 101. We'll see you in the next series, or we'll see you in part 2 of the series. Cheers. Cannabis Canada with Jason Wilcox, the real Cannabis in Canada.
We're in the grow room. And we're back in the grow room.
Our plants, our right, our medicine. Cannabis in Canada.
So, Justin, why don't you start us off?
Sure.
What is your current role as an advocate for Just Compassion and CRC? And how do you think advocacy has helped us get to where we are today?
Thank you. So I appreciate this opportunity, first of all, right? It's a great platform and then also topic, right? So I think we all hold it pretty close to our heart. And yeah, I live it too, like every day in my own right. Like it's such a wide array of options that you can have to kind of try to tackle this legalization, right? So I just kind of look at it from a patient's perspective and try to help out where I can. I got into activism through just trying to help out the Cannabis Rights Coalition. At the time, it was the MMAR Coalition Against Repeal. And it was just a gentleman, Jason Wilcox. He decided to put the government on trial, like crazy. You wouldn't think you'd be able to do this, right? I know I never did. I never thought you could do anything like that. He put the government on trial. It's just like I still think about it, like wow. And but the thing is, we could still do it. Also, what ended up happening in that trial was that we didn't meet our monumental goals that we won the challenge, but we weren't able to raise all the funds that were needed. It was took over up to $1 million to meet the case. And what the government did was stepped in and took this. So without getting too deep into that, what it should do is give at least an interesting opportunity for future plights that could show that the government will support you if you have the right challenge and you go about it properly for a fight that could affect our country in various ways. So, never be shy to put the government on trial and do what you have to do. Like since then, I've done crazy stuff. I shut down the Young and Bloor a couple times for Bill 178 because it was just like, yeah, we can do that. We can fight the government and protest. And
check that out on YouTube.
Thanks. And it was empowering to see that. I'd never known anything like it as a man, person, whatever, and being a part of that was really special. So then as a patient, going around and seeing different compassion clubs and dispensaries open, I wanted to be a part of it. So I was given an opportunity to help open Scarborough's first dispensary, Medical Compassion Club, at the time Cannalistic Center with SoCo Collective. So that's kind of where I got my start into dispensaries, and then I eventually opened up Just Compassion. So that's how I got here. I've kept Just Compassion open, and we've managed to stay open through any raid. We haven't been raided. I've been on great terms with local law enforcement. I've had them on my couch and had conversations about future opportunities, and so it's pretty interesting in that respect, right? Like I'm just chugging along and trying to figure these things out, right? Looking for the right next challenge. We're working towards the dispensary challenge to fight for this, to have compassion clubs properly regulated. I know for the Cannabis Rights Coalition, we're always going to be open. Like we were thinking about a challenge for Quebec and eluding me right now, the other province who doesn't allow growing. We knew
Legal
that
growing, yeah.
Yeah, you knew it'd be allowed,
Manitoba,
right? Just
Saskatchewan?
because
Manitoba? Saskatchewan?
Manitoba.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Manitoba.
right. We know that with a proper challenge, it'll be struck down, just like it happened in Quebec. And so it's just like, okay, what efforts is the right way? It costs money and so much effort to do a lot of these deeper challenges. So it'll be interesting to see. Like I'm worried about that. We need a few things to happen. Like normalization's incredible. With 4 plants and everybody growing, it's amazing. In a few years, it's hopefully going to be like real normalization. We'll see what a government change brings and what have you. But if we stay to it and there's not too much like upheaval from it, I think we could move into a direction where the medical program, where they have an eye, they said they want to dismantle the growing of the medical program, which actually led to the Ford plan. So there's this whole idea that they want to remove it, and that's when we're going to get to what would be called dignified access. So I think if we can get to a point where every medical patient is covered through insurance or some kind of subsidy, and that they were taken care of, they didn't have to ever even grow their own unless they wanted to, then sure, 4 plants are fine. Grow 4 with someone else in your household. But until that day comes, and it's not vague either, it's beyond a few dispensaries or dispensaries open up for a recreational community or just open the doors. I really feel it's important. Like whether or not I'll still man the place, I think it's important right now to have medical compassion clubs regulated, because it's a different environment. We're working people one-on-one. We're working with like people who work them off of opioids through with RSO and different like really direct programs, and cancer patients. Like the most humbling experiences are in these environments, and because you're just humbled by everyone's like mission to heal. So I feel that what I worry about though is like, I'll get regulated and Just Compassion's regulated. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be next door selling gray area cannabis at affordable rates because it's not there yet, you know. And if patients can't afford it, I think like the cart might be in front of the horse for a minute, but it'll get lined up, and until then we just got to keep fighting. And yeah, it'll be interesting, but the regulations I don't think will get regulated properly to allow for us all. Like they're trying to take away gardening. They want to dismantle that for all patients. Why? It's helping us. That's our one opportunity to get away from buying these medicines. Like you're looking. That's all. Like all we really need to do is connect with somebody. Get a designated grower. If you can't grow for someone, get them to grow for yourselves. Right? Like if we're all connected in that route, then we don't need to be paying these exorbitant prices by the licensed producers. Right? And yeah, Just Compassion's open. It'll stay open until this is done, but that's one club. Everybody else closed, and I don't blame them. I don't blame anybody. It's scary, you know, but it doesn't have to be, and it shouldn't be. So hopefully we can come up with some answers that are like really proactive. And I don't know what they are. I know like I said, we can get it regulated, and then I'm probably gonna be like,
I don't know what those answers are either, but I mean, let's look at microbreweries. Like you could brew beer in your basement if you wanted to, right? There's no limit on how many microbrewery containers you can have in your basement, and you know, at the end of the day, that's alcohol. I hate making the alcohol weed comparison because one's like a medicine, the other one's totally not. But I mean, we're already growing alcohol in our basement. So what? Like, when are we going to get to that point with cannabis?
I don't know. And even on a bigger scale, there was this great opportunity to bring everybody in from the gray area and say, yeah, we have these micro grows and everything. And as it's kind of coming together, you start doing, like, I built off a business plan, ran the numbers, 200 meters, square foot, whatever, and I'm like, okay, but I don't want to get too deep into this. You don't understand the middle, how much is Just Compassion, licensed producer, everything. It's like, okay, now you need to build your facility before you can get a license, and it's like, oh my. So now for anybody like myself, who's you know, out there, they're going to be in a position that they're going to have to make a deal with a licensed producer. There's almost no way around it that I can see currently, and that's crazy because they're just controlling this system that they don't understand, and they're just trying to capitalize on it. So I think it's going to take a few more years, and it's just going to see more businesses fail and ups and downs of this whole industry. But hopefully through it all I'm really concerned about in the end is that medical patients can get their medicine at affordable rates, and if it's through growing for each other for now, that'll be all right. But hopefully with the whole system, I don't know, I don't even know the answer. Like, I don't see the bottom line dropping for the licensed producers. The only way we can get around it if we're getting it subsidized or like through government subsidy and healthcare.
Just like other farming. Sorry, but another way is like I said, reducing the tax, because the tax is a big part of why the government won't cover it.
With the excess tax on top, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. So it should be treated like other medicines for sure. It's not respected, and that's been the case with marijuana for cannabis, pardon me, for a long time. Yeah, for as long as it's been around, they've only tried to push it aside, and through as they're trying to regulate it, it's just confusing for everybody.
Hey folks, we're here with my good friend Jason Wilcox.
Yeah.
And we're back in the grow room, and isn't this where it all began? Was in the grow room,
And that's where it all started, was here in the grow room.
And we're back in the grow room,
The grow room.
And we're back in the grow room.
And fuck
No, you're
that.
not. And we're back in the grow room. And Jason, isn't this where it all began? Was the grow room?
Absolutely. This is where it all began. I came in here, my friend and my brother. I came in here in 2012, and I said, "Look, man, they're gonna take away our gardens. They're gonna do this if we don't."
I found that very alarming when you came to me and said they're going to take our right to grow away. It's like, what can we do? What can we do? Or what did we do?
Well, we raised the money for John Conroy. That was the first 10,000. So I put up the money. Some other people put up some money. Green Planet put up some money. Ramo Nutrients stepped forward and started putting up some money. Most importantly, Ramo's wife Sandra also was instrumental in working as our secretary and making sure that our paperwork was done right and everything. This is stuff that a lot of people don't necessarily know about, and it's going to come out in the documentary. And so look forward to this in 2020. This kind of a prelim to the documentary, and we will have Ramo in there. We will have Sandra, who's already been filmed. We still have to film this man. He's trying to duck it out by dodging in here and making us do these pre-records for you guys. But you know what? It's a badass documentary. You want to know everything that happened and how we got to where we are and why the legalization task force was handcuffed on the issue of whether we can or can't grow in this country. It's because the medical patients of Canada made it constitutionally protected, and that made it possible for everybody to grow 4 plants. And though it's a small start, it's still a start, and it protected the plants. And for that reason, Ramo, I thank you, my friend.
It was my pleasure, Jason. You were the man with the plan. You know what we should do? We should go inside, smoke this huge joint, and talk about this. What do you think?
Let's do it, brother.
Let's go inside. Hey folks, we're here with my good friend Jason Wilcox.
Yeah.
And we're back in the grow room, and isn't this where
Top quality producers of the finest cocoa fiber available on the market out of Humboldt County, California, made out of coconut husk fiber. People can find more at royalgoldcocoa.com or at Green Planet Nutrients.
We got a great product that we're introducing. It's called Vikki Pro Grow, the fermented fertilizer. Literally a superfood for your soil. Like I said, Green Planet wholesale is carrying us, so anywhere across Canada, the Green Planet products are sold.
And it's all lights on, no damage, no burning, no residuals. Overgrow, ready to use for small growers, medium-sized growers, or buy the product yourselves, save money, and get more value. Optic foliar, the only lights-on spray. In Canada, we're distributed through Green Planet, and they're sold in all their stores right across Canada.
We're very happy to be a part of the Green Planet Village here. They're our exclusive distributor in Canada, and they've got all their brands around here, so we're really happy to be a part of their team, and the show has been fantastic so far. You can find out more at growstrongindustries.com.
We are top quality producers of the finest cocoa fiber available on the market out of Humboldt County, California, made out of coconut husk fiber. People can find more at royalgoldcocoa.com or at Green Planet Nutrients.
We got a great product that we're introducing. It's called Vikki Pro Grow, the fermented fertilizer. Literally a superfood for your soil. Like I said, Green Planet wholesale is carrying us, so anywhere across Canada, the Green Planet products are sold.
And it's all lights on, no damage, no burning, no residuals. Overgrow, ready to use for small growers, medium-sized growers, or buy the product yourselves, save money, and get more value. Optic foliar, the only lights-on spray. In Canada, we're distributed through Green Planet, and they're sold in all their stores right across Canada.
We're very happy to be a part of the Green Planet Village here. They're our exclusive distributor in Canada, and they've got all their brands around here, so we're really happy to be a part of their team, and the show has been fantastic so far. You can find out more at growstrongindustries.com.
We are top quality producers of the finest cocoa fiber available on the market out of Humboldt County, California, made out of coconut husk fiber. People can find more at royalgoldcocoa.com or at Green Planet Nutrients.
We got a great product that we're introducing. It's called Vikki Pro Grow, the fermented fertilizer. Literally a superfood for your soil. Like I said, Green Planet wholesale is carrying us, so anywhere across Canada, the Green Planet products are sold.
And it's all lights on, no damage, no burning, no residuals.
All right, welcome back to Cannabis in Canada with Jason Wilcox. I apologize for that overlay there. I am getting a little medicated off this high voltage. What can I tell you? We're doing sauce, we're doing live resin, we're doing a combination of both probably. I don't know.
We have sauce and resin.
And then we got a bag of weed over there that I was smoking earlier that I was smoking all day. And you know, people think we don't smoke weed all day and we actually get work done, and we do.
But
that's just a misbelief. I've actually smoked weed with Kurt Tusaw and watched him go in the courtroom and kick ass. So, you know, those that say you can't do that is bullshit. Ask Kurt Tusaw, he'll tell you. You know, you guys can say what you want about Kurt, but he'll always be a superhero to me, regardless of his decisions in his personal life. That's his business to make. You know, he did his job for us, and I thank him for that. And I'll always be thankful. Anyway, tonight's giveaway will be done on, once again, the high voltage giveaway will be done on YouTube. We've decided that because it does record on YouTube now. Our birth was from YouTube. We have over 5 million legitimate views, and to the newest subscribers, we have like 400 new subscribers.
Welcome and thank you.
Welcome to the show, and thank you for the support. That's a big part of it too. You know, that's for us. That's a big part. The wire, we got to watch that we're not. Yeah, I was gonna say because we got some light bouncing that wasn't happening before. Sorry, but anyway, we'll be doing the giveaway on YouTube, so you can go ahead and put your number. Yeah, you gotta fix that cord. It's gotta stay tight.
How's that?
No, well, you're blacking us out. Wow, it's really messing us up. Anyway, hang on. We'll figure this cord out eventually. It's a little. What are you doing with the light?
It's the light you want me to get rid of. I can't get rid of that. The cord's fine. It's in there now.
Oh, okay. All the light.
I'm having a hard time on the wee bit. Oh, boom.
Fuck it.
Go back.
That'll work.
That'll work.
Just use that. There we go.
Ma'am.
You guys ever do green screen, you'll understand light bouncing is a pain in the ass. But it's also fun because we can always just switch up our screen like this and go boom and say, you know, here, check this out. You know, we can change shit up on the fly. That's always fun to do. Anyway, that being said, let's get on with the giveaway before our computer does crash and say, you know what, you guys aren't going to do this giveaway. Everybody please move over to YouTube, and I plan on getting involved into the YouTube channel. Vicki will post the link. She'll also give you all the instructions as I take a nice big fat ass dab of some nice fire. Once again, shout out to High Voltage. Go check them out. Is it highvoltage.com or .ca?
High voltage menu. I'll post their link.
Okay, Vicki will post the link. You know what? Actually, I'm going to show you guys because I've done this myself.
High voltage live menu, I believe.
I just did highvoltage.com.
Oh, that'll find them for sure. If you put that into Google, for sure.
Now I know a lot of y'all complaining that you have to order by the ounce and or the half ounce and it's too much, and you know I get that. You know I understand it, but also you're getting it at like $25 a gram or whatever it is that it works out to, compared to the $80 a gram you're going to get it in the stupid dispensary or the guy that delivers it to you. So you just got to put it into perspective that way too when you're thinking about costs. You know that's something I would definitely put out there. People need to worry about that, especially medical patients that are trying just to get through.
Mm-hmm. The camera got pushed over to the side, eh?
Yeah, you can move it over if you want. We're sitting at 58%. We're doing good. Yeah, they are high voltage extracts. No, the menu. Yeah, it's high voltage extract. Good. Yeah, it's highvoltagelivemenu.com.
Oh, sit down, Maxie.
That is the proper one to go to. Perfect. How come I can't get into the other one that I found that way? It gave me all the... Oh, there we go. It's right here. All right. Now I can show you guys a little bit of what comes in. And I don't have a password. You have a password?
Watch out, Maxie. Come on, go lie down, buddy. Go lie down, books.
Well, maybe I won't be able to show you. I guess I need a password that I didn't know I needed. Yeah, I never had that before.
There, that's better. Okay. So should we do the giveaway?
Explain it.
So tonight's giveaway will be high voltage all stores that together. It's amazing stuff. You can't go wrong. Jason wrote the steps, so there's some tagging, following. You know, essentially what we're trying to do is get people to the high voltage site just to say thank you. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting the community. You know what? Thank you for continuing to make a fucking exceptional product at a really good value. You know what I mean? When a lot of people are out there just charging like an astronomical amount for a kind of like a Z grade product. This is a fucking A++++. This is a quad plus. This is honestly a quad product at a really valuable price. So I love that they put a top shelf product at a reasonable price, the price that it should be. So anyways, they put together that. It's amazing stuff. This is like made in Canada, island grown, produced here. You know,
I can show you some pictures. Keep going.
I also think it's really important that we support local craft cannabis. These guys are 100% craft cannabis. So you want to get behind, you know what I mean? You know, the craft market. You definitely, you know what, hit them up on their menu. Try some of their products. Every single one's been fucking awesome. They're coming out with edibles. Can't wait to try them. They're going to be bomb for sure. And so I think there's some really exciting things ahead for the high voltage crew, and that's pretty neat. So make sure you follow all the steps that Jason and myself have posted. It's well worth the couple minutes of your time. Look at these dabs. I mean, they are again top shelf product at a super valuable price. You know.
And the other website that I showed you is just the one that's being worked on. I'll show you what I mean by that. Highvoltage.com is being worked on right here, which is the live menu. Unfortunately, I can't show you those pictures like I could last week. If I could, I would. Let me see if I can show you the bundles menu. No. It's asking me for a password.
Anyways, hit them up. Sign up through their website. They follow all their steps. They'll tell you how to get.
There it is.
There it is. Oh man, this stuff is lit.
All right, now
That's
get
what you'll be
lit
winning.
on this shit. This was
This is
what could show up on your doorstep.
In about
Who
4
knows?
days.
Again, you never know what the company will send you. It's a prize giveaway that's worth between $200 and $300. We're not sure what's in the prize. We leave it to the company to do that. But when the time comes, if you've done the steps, and again, and please, and even if you're my friend, don't think that I won't ban you from my show.
No,
if you break the rules, I will do that to my own friends.
Becky's saying she couldn't sign in Cannabis in Canada. Either could I. So the only step that we will allow people not to complete, because we can see that we're having some issues with our webmaster, is signing up to Cannabis in Canada. If you can't subscribe to Cannabis in Canada website, it's okay. Please make sure that you tag, follow, and you do all the steps required for Facebook and for Instagram for both accounts, because those can both be done. Right, so the only thing, if you can't subscribe to Cannabis in Canada, we understand that. Again, we're having some issues with our webmaster.
And if you guys,
all the other steps can be done.
And if you guys wonder what I'm showing you now,
want you to win, Becky.
This is still showing you all their different varieties. And these pens, these are the pen cartridge that I have my pen here somewhere. Is my pen here? Can you see it? There it is.
Becky can't get it to
My pen. Let's get down here, just keep going. You guys can see all the different live resins, and they're all, this is how it comes to you. And I stand by this company, and I stand by their professionalism, what they get out, all the different strains, like Sour Jack live resin. Like, who the hell's ever heard of that? They're making shit that nobody's done yet, and it's going out, and they're holding it down for the underground. And for that reason, we want to say thank you. And for you guys to get an idea what could show up in your pack. Now, for any of our previous winners that are watching the show, can you please let people know that yes, indeed, you do get these prize packs, and that they kick ass, and that it's a big thing to be talking about. I don't think we do enough talking about it, and I think that that's something that we should maybe look at, as a community right now. That's just my opinion. Shit, I had something here and I lost it. Damn it.
And I I'd like to say, like, dabs can be very recreational for me, but dabs honestly are very medicinal for me. If you have pain during the day, there's nothing like, you know, hitting a hard dab when your back's sore, when you have a migraine, when you're having, like, your shoulders are pain, shoulders are pain, your hips are sore, your back is sore, whatever's sore for you. For me, it's like those sort of areas: neck, hip, shoulders, back. It's amazing what a good hard dab will blow away back pain. When I was smoking joints, I just found I was smoking joint after joint after joint after joint. I was hitting them all day long to the point where, like, literally my throat almost hurt. I was smoking so much joints, so much weed. I wasn't getting as much done as I'd like to. I hate to admit that. I was smoking too much.
That's why they're good pens.
Feeling that great about it. But when I started dabbing several years ago, I got off the couch. I started getting a hell of a lot more done. The pain was way better managed because one good hard dab, you're like, bam, I'm up and moving again, right? And it's especially, see, like, you're at grocery shopping, you're doing that kind of stuff, pop this little pen in your purse, and as you're walking through IGA Marketplace, right? Take a little hit, boom, back on, you know, I'm back moving my groceries.
All right, while we got our people on YouTube, we can't get too distracted because we're stoned. Okay, keep going with the giveaway. How's it going to work? How's it going to go down? They're on YouTube. They're on YouTube. They're ready. They want to know what to do. What do they do? What do they do? What do they do? Because I'm going to go to High Voltage's website, and don't make me call you out in public and embarrass you, because if you don't do the steps, if you enter a number and you haven't done your steps, then I'm going to call you out on that shit. Don't fuck with the game. And as I've said, we've already blocked one person. They happen to be a top fan of mine and a supporter of mine, and I really felt bad about it. But it was a decision that the company has made. It was the only way to keep the game going fair. Don't enter your numbers, please, until we have.
What is it going to be between one and what?
I don't know. Like I said, don't enter your numbers or anything yet. I want to give people time to actually take what I'm saying serious, to please look at the steps. They're not that hard. It takes a couple minutes to go to Instagram, do your simple things, do whatever the steps are. I don't even know what the steps are. Vicki's put them together. That's why I asked her to handle this, because I sound like I'm the grouch. You know, I'm the guy that comes in and says, look, this is the fucking way it's going to be.
You wrote them this time,
Hopefully you do it.
That part. That's how tired he is.
What?
I mean, you wrote them this week.
I wrote them?
Yeah, you wrote these.
Well, don't listen to me then. Tell them what to do. Tell them how this works.
I don't know. Why? That's what I'm stuttering. I keep putting it back on you because you wrote them.
It's the same as last week.
Well, whatever it is, hold on. I got to find out whatever it is your comment.
You have to. It says you need to like. You need to like, to follow High Voltage, and Cannabis in Canada on Instagram. It has links. It's right in the write-up. There's no reason that this can't be done. You also must tag 2 friends who may benefit from this giveaway. Finally, you must make a post on High Voltage Facebook page. So this is stuff that I'll be going to check right now. You know, and I appreciate those that play, and again, it is a $200 to $300 pack. If we don't come through on our end, then we expect you to come on our show and say, yo, motherfuckers, you lie, you're full of shit, and I won, and I didn't get my prize. I want to see that. I'm okay with that. I don't mind retracting when I'm wrong, and I don't mind making rights when I'm wrong. But God damn it, don't mess with my show. Don't mess with the giveaway. I'll go back to Vicki here, who does things a lot more cheerfully.
I'm sorry, I forgot the rules. I'm so accustomed to cutting and pasting. Isn't that terrible? We live in that world where we just click everything. So I'm like, click, 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 Barbara Trick. Who remembers anything? We just got to cut and paste. So anyways, I apologize for that. The rules are very easy. So everybody, you know, get behind them, get them done. Super easy, super fast. We're looking at a few $100s worth of dabs that are like killer. You're gonna love them. You're gonna invite your friends over. You're gonna be like, they're gonna come over. Like, this is the fucking, you know, the caviar of dabs, right? Like caviar of dabs right before Christmas, delivered to your door.
Oh yeah.
Just for doing a few different things, right? So this isn't a bad thing at all. This is actually an awesome thing. And you know, as I'm saying that, maybe you want to tuck them away for Christmas, New Year's Eve. You know, maybe you're having somebody's, you know, friends over, family, right? You pull out again the caviar of dabs, and they're like, God damn, dude.
No, I'm on their site now, and if you're wondering how hard it is to like, I just went to their site, and you can just like this. It's very easy, and then you can just go down, click on one of the pictures you like, and say you like that. Tag 2 friends. This is not that hard. See, I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, okay, my webmaster told me how to do all this. My webmaster said this is the best way to go about marketing. So I'm trying stuff that I haven't tried before. So I apologize if I sound a little bit like, oh man, I don't know about this, but it's a $200 to $300 giveaway, and all you have to do, these pictures are awesome.
They are
So you know, like fucking badass pictures.
They are.
So you can take any one of them that you
And
like.
tag 2 friends who you know would benefit, who would love this. Tag 2 friends who you know who wouldn't want to miss out on this prize pack. Tag a couple people who will be like, man, thank you so much for giving me the chance to win some.
And we'll also give them time. We'll give them time to
dabs.
actually tune into the show here to be part of this giveaway. And any previous winners watching on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, I know you can't do nothing, but friends, Facebook on YouTube, please post up that you have one and that you've received your prize packs.
Yeah.
And what, you don't have to post what you received, but you can just say that you received your prize packs, and how nice they were. So that helps to lend legitimacy to what we're talking about when we're saying, hey guys, we send out some serious shit and we want you to understand that. So if you're wondering how their Instagram page would look if you got there, it'll look like this. So this is the page that you should be looking like. You just click on follow, go down, take a picture, say you like this picture. You just open it up, say that you like it, click boom, and you're done. This isn't that hard. This is an easy thing. You go in, you can make a comment.
Tag a couple people.
And then tag a couple people. This isn't that hard to actually do. And I'm literally showing you the steps.
And
to
again,
make it
it's
that
Christmas.
much easier.
You know what? How awesome would this be to win just before Christmas? Because at this point, the mail's kind of slowing down a wee bit. You'll get it just before Christmas. What a lovely way to either
I don't care, man. If you just got one of these, I remember back in the day when fucking.
Happy with that.
I remember this would take me a full extraction out of my garden just to try and get this much butter. By the time I was done fucking around, I'd destroy so much shit that I'd end up this much butter left or toffee. This one back in the days of open blasting, but now. I dab this stuff like crazy, and I'm glad because I love it. But we go through about an ounce a month. So you guys think these are high orders? These aren't high orders. These aren't big orders. They're not that big.
Like an ounce each.
That's just something to keep in mind. We got this camera, we're short. When you see all the space above our head.
Oh, I had to move it again. Shit, sorry. Okay, well, you know what? That's because the dog kicked it. Let's get to the giveaway. Okay, you know what? Let's do the giveaway. What's the number going to be between 0 and what?
Let's get on to the counter.
1 and...
1 second, please. What's it called?
Number generator.
Number generator. I had it open. Number generator. There it is. Okay.
Open blasting, right?
So there you go. No, old school open blasting. I'll explain later. Anyway, I know you guys are all jacked. You guys are all jacked up. Like back in the day, that's all we could do was open blast because we didn't have freaking nothing else. Shit, we were happy with getting away with open blasting without blowing ourselves up.
Well, you know what? I remember this is going back a long time ago, and I was buying dabs long years ago. A gram of dabs, one gram was $100. Remember? A gram of shatter was $100.
Now you're fucking with me again. Okay, hang on. All right, so there's the number generator page. We got it ready. But again, honestly, if it was just this that I was winning, I'd be doing all this shit for my chance to win. So again, I get it. And people think, oh, they're just sitting there horking back their dabs. It's like, no, we sit here for 2 hours talking about how good these dabs are to be able to hork them back. And even then, we're not horking them back. Well, I'm horking them back. But yeah, they fucking is what it is. But I don't green out on my show, and I'm a prime example, and I will show this with my before and after pictures, and I'm confident enough to say it, in my weight and in my structure, for body mass and everything else, and trying to show that at the age of 45, 46, you can still pull it out and get it back together using certain diets, and now I believe incorporating this hemp diet is going to help. The omega-3, 6, and 9s, the stuff that's in there. People are making salads with their leaves, chickens and bears and everything else. I just wanted people to talk about that. I know that a lot of people are on YouTube right now. Sorry, Vic. I didn't
want to, I was thinking, I was looking into sauteing them, doing different things with those leaves.
No, don't saute them. No, just salads. Simple salads. Just eat them raw salad, raw protein, plant-based protein.
Okay.
You get your omega-3, 6, and 9s. Anyway, on to the giveaway. Yes. Please don't post your numbers. Vicki, please watch the numbers. Can you write them down? You got a pen? All that shit? I'm way too stoned. Oh man, don't make me do it. I'm too fucking stoned. Okay, you need to yell them out.
What is it between 0 and what? 1 and what?
You gotta count them out. All right, you guys ready for this giveaway? Let's do this fucking giveaway.
Good luck, everybody.
Seriously, good luck, everybody, on the reel. Get back to the generator. Process over. All right, here's the number generator. We'll make this between 1 and 1,000 today. Why not?
Fantastic.
And then there's going to be a Christmas pack that's bigger than usual than what our normal giveaways are going to be. That's going to be part of our 12 days of Christmas. So for those special shows, as we close in on Christmas, you guys will get ready. You know it's my favorite time of the year and most important time of the year for me personally. So I try to always do something from our sponsors, and I get on my sponsors' case even to the degree that I'll go to them and say, no, put something up, man. Fucking, you know, like we do a lot of shit for free. So, you know, we actually don't ask a lot of our sponsors, but when it comes time to do stuff, we do it. Anyway, how this is going to work right now, if you're on YouTube, you cannot win on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, go to my YouTube channel, Google Jason Wilcox. You'll get my YouTube channel first.
Tossing their numbers in.
And go ahead. Don't toss your numbers in. Go ahead and do that. I'm telling you, don't toss your numbers in there, guys.
Well, you already said it's between 1 and 1,000, so it seems...
I didn't say toss your numbers in.
Okay.
Don't tell me what I said.
Okay.
You know, I said that exactly. Between 1 and 1,000. I haven't even showed them how the number generator works. Some people don't know. We generate a number like this. 464. So there could be, whoever's the closest is going to be the winner. And whoever, if there's a tie, those two will then go back into the calculator again and the generator, and then we'll generate another number for the split. That's exactly how it's going to work. Now, I know I've been babbling a lot. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. But my friends, go ahead and as of now, start putting in your numbers. And as your numbers go in, we'll write them down.
Anything that falls between April Fripp's comment that says LOL, it's going to come in after this. I'm sorry that this is confusing, guys, but anything that comes in now counts. Anything prior to April Fripp's comment of LOL.
Can we just get the numbers written down?
Otherwise, you're confusing everybody.
Just seeing the numbers.
Yep.
Every week, guys, the rules are the same thing. What'd you do? You didn't write any down?
Well, I don't have to. It's recording them.
Okay. So I'm going to let you scroll back for so long.
Yeah, no. That's only Facebook. YouTube's different. It's way better. You are right.
All right, so I'll put this back here. And
good luck, everybody.
It is what it is. Good luck to everybody. I'm not going to generate it just yet. Okay. Give you a chance to put your number in.
Perfect.
Let me know when all numbers are in, please.
It looks like we're getting there. Yeah, I'd say, give it another minute. Just to make sure you're right. I gotta turn that up and off.
I apologize to anybody if there's confusion around this, but she wanted to just go through the YouTube app. So I hope that the YouTube app will record your answers and give you the correct answers, because I'm doing my best to follow it. But if I switch off this, you guys can't see the number generator, and I can't really generate the number. And if I want to see what your numbers are, yeah, they're still putting numbers in. If you're putting in more than one number there, Canada's Finest, it will get you disqualified. This isn't a game. And I will ban you from my show, so please don't do that. Please remove your numbers. Delete them out of there so I don't have to. I appreciate the donation earlier, and I appreciate the support, but we don't take this lightly. Our sponsors go out of their way for us, so please do not throw in numbers more than once. You'll be disqualified. If you live in America or outside of Canada, please do not put in any numbers, because you will not be able to win your prize. No. And if you do put in your number and you win your prize, and we happen to go check and check the high voltage page, and you guys haven't done what you said you were going to do, well then of course you'll be disqualified, and we'll reconstitute the prize.
Okay, perfect. Cannabis Finest, awesome, good job. You're going to go back and retract all those numbers, I would imagine.
Thanks, Cannabis Finest. I appreciate it. I figured they gave us like a donation earlier. I've never had anybody give us a donation on the show before, so I appreciate the donation. I don't know how we collect it or anything like that, but either way, it doesn't matter. It's the point that it was made, and I'm just saying at the same time, I need to be. I wasn't the president of the coalition without being direct and really forceful with not playing around with the way we do our games, the way we do our giveaways, our competitions, especially at Christmas when we start giving away $2,000 lights and, you know, stuff like that. Like, don't mess around with that kind of stuff because it ruins the game. And a lot of people get their hopes up because they really want to win, especially this prize. There's people really want to win this prize now that they've seen it go out 5 times to 5 different people and they don't see it being challenged online. And they're like, God damn, yeah, I do want that. I want to be dabbing that high voltage at Christmas. I want to be fucking having the connoisseur cannabis. I want to be having the friggin' caviar of cannabis sitting on my table with my friends at Christmas. That's the reality of what we're talking about here. Let's just keep it real. So I'm going to get back to the number generator. Let me know when the numbers have stopped coming in. Can you check?
Yep, it looks like they have. Oh yeah, I would say.
Have all numbers stopped coming in?
Looks like I haven't seen any new ones. Yep.
You're sure?
Yep.
I'm checking here. No, I don't see any more numbers. Okay, so I'm going to generate now. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3.
Boom.
337. Who's closest? We'll go back and show you guys. 337. Hopefully someone.
Okay.
357.
357.
Who's this?
April.
April, are you Canadian? And April, I hope you're Canadian.
Yeah, definitely the closest. Way to go, April.
Can you write that down for me, please? It looks like April got the closest there. Is there any disputes? Or oh wait, no. Oh, April Phillip 357. She did the same number twice, which is okay, as long as it's the same number. Sometimes it gets confusing the way we do these games, guys, but now you see why we do it, and we actually verify it for you live on the air. We'll actually go to the page and show whether you did or did not do your steps.
What was the number? Again,
335 or something. I don't know. Damn it! Why are you asking me? Now I got to go back in there and try to find out.
Because we have somebody saying that they're contesting in the number. That's the only reason I'm asking.
Who? Why are they contesting? What's their number?
They said they have 3331, and they do.
Okay, well, 331 might be the win.
So I need to know what.
We'll find.
What's the number generator?
Find the other number. Where is it here? 33. Oh, there's 331. You're right. 331, and then there was 3. There's 331 again. Stephen Shannon. Yep. 331, and then there was 357. Wow, that's close on both sides. There's April. You guys can see right here. I'll show you guys. I'm going to send this over and show you for yourselves. Right here, you'll see where the confusion is. 2 different people, not with the last name or nothing. Not like they're partners. Not like it was anything like that. And
So
it would be okay if it was.
Yeah.
But super, super
I
close.
think 331 is the winner. Yeah.
I'm not sure which one's closer. I suck at math. Don't ask me math. But congratulations to whoever did win. And I want to show you guys here. You can look at this for yourselves exactly what the problem is. So 357, 321. Who was the winner?
What was the generator number? That's what I've been asking you the last couple of minutes.
Oh, the generator number was 337.
There we go. Perfect.
337 was generator number.
Oh, Dad, then it might be 331. Yeah.
33. That's what I thought. Sure. I thought 337 and 331. I didn't see the 331, so I thought 357. Anything in 300 was good, but then I didn't see the other 331. So I think Douglas Kraft, I think you're going to be our winner if you're a Canadian and you live here. Douglas, do you live here in Canada? Can you please engage? Let us know. And congrats to Douglas for his win on tonight.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm going to get us back to the main screen here for a second in case we need to switch back over. Anyway, congratulations to our winner, Douglas there. Please send your information to cannabisincanada@gmail.com. Once again, please send your information to cannabisincanada@gmail.com. Cannabis in Canada at gmail.com.
Congratulations, Douglas. That's so awesome. Yes, April's so close.
So if
Douglas is the winner. Way to go.
Send me your mailing information and wherever you want it mailed. I don't know, it doesn't matter where, it just has to be in Canada. Just where do you want it mailed, and then send me that in my email. I'll forward that over to the company. They'll gift your gift package off to you. And all that we ask is that if you're okay with it, to please post it or at least share what it is that you got, or whether you feel that they got the fire like we do.
Yep.
You know, we're really standing up for this brand, and we're standing up for it for good reason. 1, it's the underground still. 2, it deserves to be legal. And 3, most importantly, it's the fire that the government's trying to take from us. And we've come way too far with cannabis in this country to go back now. And the internet's not going to change that. We're not going to change that. And as a free and democratic peoples, we're not going to waver from that. You know, and that's just the reality. So Douglas Craft, please write that down again. CannabisInCanada@gmail.com is my personal email for work to do with Cannabis Canada Incorporated, which is a real, if you look us up, you'll see we are an actual registered with Google international interprovincial corporation. So we are not something small. We are something that just has not flexed our muscles since Allard. Now in the Allard trial, $1.2 million, and we put the government under a restraining order that they're still under, that's when we flexed our muscles. That's when we said, look, this is who the fuck we are. We're more than just growers. We're plant patriots.
So I'm not gonna lie, I just went and took out of the oven. I roasted some really
Those
nice
smell fucking
little,
good, by the way.
It does smell good. Some little baby, nice little baby potatoes. I got butternut squash in there. I got carrots. I got onions. I have some brown rice, brown basmati on the side. I drop a little bit of hummus, a little balsamic glaze. So when we say like we're living this, I really, really am living this. Like while we're doing the show, I'm running off in the commercial to turn my potatoes to make sure that we get off the air.
Where's my plant-based drink?
We had some coffees. Coconut milk in our coffees.
Anybody wishing to jump off that we're here for the prize can jump off now. If you're interested in staying on for the content and talking about dabs and everything else, then please do. But I would like to get into a little bit about PTSD. I would like to get into street, cannabis, and harm reduction. I also run a harm reduction group on Facebook. There's a couple different groups that I've been involved in that I started and I manage. And I got some great administrators. I mean, there really are. There's some really good team members that help us. Help us, and really the remnants of the coalition. Sorry, I'm just trying to get there now to show you guys. Anyway, they're members of the coalition or remnants of. And in these groups, we don't often talk enough about them, and we don't often let you guys know that they're here. Now, the cannabis use and harm reduction is more of a public group, but Cannabis in Canada is a group that's not so public. So I'm going to send this over here so you guys can have a look at it. This is a Cannabis in Canada group on Facebook. So we're happy to say that you'll see here we have 10,800 members. We're approaching 11,000 members. We'll be happy to hit that. We have 18 new members this week, so we're happy to say that as well.
Welcome.
We're also ranked number 9 in the world, as we often talk about.
Awesome.
But this is a private place. This is private. You can't find this. The reason we made this private was so that you guys had a safe place. When I say you guys, I mean ladies, gentlemen, cannabis culture. You have a safe place to come and talk about how to grow, how to use cannabis, how to do whatever it is that you wish to do. You can find that here.
Yes.
And it's moderated by a good Cannabis in Canada moderation team, administration
Amazing team that really give a fuck, and they're all, they're all patients, they're growers, they're, they're cannabis youth, like myself, consumers, and genuinely have a deep love and respect for the plant because it has been life-changing in every single one of our health. And so when something impacts you really and truly at your core, at your root, at what gets you up in the morning and what saves your life and what, has an impact on your family, your loved ones, your workspace, your family space, whatever you're doing day to day, when you see the positive, the positive impact, that bleed out of cannabis into your life, all of our administrators have that love of cannabis because it's had that impact in their life. So when you have that, you have a real love for it. You're gonna, you want to live for it, you want to die for it, same way we do. On a sidebar, when I see our kids are now starting to be like that. Like last week, we sent a little prize pack to Chris. It was all kinds of edibles and goodies.
Yeah, both our kids are smoking weed now.
It's awesome to see our kids are,
But it's okay. I'd rather see the weed heads than alcoholics. So
Fuck
hey.
yeah.
You know, weed heads are not at the bar fucking getting high, fucking punching each other out like I was. So
you know, and I'm happy my kid calls me, we have a good giggle or whatever. You know, it was so shunned upon in my family. Like, I felt like such an outcast and a weirdo. I had a couple cousins that burned, and we all kind of found each other. I love the state of affairs now. You know what I mean? I want to see it grow and change and continue to grow and change. I'd love to be able to go into that recreational store and see thousands of milligrams on the shelf, you know, whatever, you know, I don't think we'll ever see that, but it would be nice to see them serving up things like high voltage extracts. Like some real shit, you know?
Guy, try the high voltage pen, I'm telling you, man. It hits like a bomb.
Look at that.
I know, it hits like a bomb. It really does. I mean...
If you're a dabber, you're like, I'm taking this bitch wherever I go. Me and Jason fight for it. Actually, do you know what? I'm not even kidding you. We lost one, so we're down to one. And I want to take it to Yoga. He wants to take it to Steve Nash. Of course, he wins. But it's a daily fight.
I'm not a bully.
No, I'm just fucking with him. We have a Wicked Evolved pen. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, I'm
but
not
honestly,
a bully.
he's not a bully. But we do fight for this. Some days I get it, some days I don't. But we do have a scrap for this.
She does try to hide it.
I do try to, exactly. I snorted a little bit.
That's how you know she's guilty.
You know,
she's snorting.
You're like, no, I don't have it for yoga. I'm running out the door.
Well, there you go. Right? And it's funny, I see a comment here too where the 16, 18-year-olds, see, for us, when ours were 16, both of them hated us because we were weed heads.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are disgusting.
You're so
that sounds fucking
You're so
gross.
embarrassing.
I'm not bringing my friends around you. You guys are dabbing. That's gross. You know, until they found out how cool it was to be at the cannabis events and to have Dad on the fucking 420 stage and shit like that. That was shit that changed for them as they got older. But 16 and 18 was probably when they first tried cannabis, but didn't actually smoke with us. But now 20 years old, they're smoking weed, and that's all that matters to us. They're not fucking getting drunk. They're not getting high.
No.
You know, they're not doing Molly. They're not going to raves.
No.
You know, so we don't have to really worry about our kids that much right now, and I'm proud of that. And that matters to me. That matters to me across this country. And it lends, once again, can parents raise kids with cannabis? Yes.
Yes, they can.
Can cannabis be a harm reduction for a person living with HIV?
Of course.
Yes. Can you improve your quality of life using
yeah.
cannabis? I've demonstrated that. I've lost 11 pounds, motherfuckers, in 30 days because I chose to. But it's a choice. Lifestyle, diet, way you live, choice. Lay on the bed, be depressed, feel sorry about yourself is a choice.
Or,
now, depression, no, I want to get into this. There's depression and PTSD. Now, I went through that. I didn't know that I had, I'd been band-aiding something in myself for years that I didn't know about. And when you're band-aiding something with one drug, you're not really dealing with it. So I had to find out different things. So PTSD, I mean, that shit's real. I mean, it's no fucking game. It can really haunt you. And that's why I talk about it, because I have friends that are coming back from Afghanistan. I meet friends that are involved in different things. They're coming forward with shit that happened when they were kids. And they're dealing with fucking PTSD shit. And you don't even know you got it. You don't realize why your fucking mood swings and why you're waking up angry and you're going to sleep angry and you're fucking just an angry guy in general. You don't get it.
No.
Until all of a sudden fucking some doctor gives you a pill and tweaks your head and it's a PTSD pill.
Like, wow.
It's what they give soldiers that come back from war. And then you're like, man, I must have seen some shit in my time to need that. But it's real.
Oh my goodness.
And how many people killed themselves on the way to the road before they got that pill that I got? Because my God, I know I felt like I was going crazy. I was working on myself for a while, and I'm not going to take this lightly, because there are people coming back, and my God, this time of the year, people need their friends. They need to know that they're cared for. They need to know they're not alone. Nobody wants to be alone. It's not human nature to be alone. And this is a time of year where we need to be together, share information, and make each other laugh and lift each other up, you know? While the government's trying to kick us while we're down, you know, we're saying, fuck you. We're going to rise up, and we're going to be stronger than ever in 2020. And we're going to be ready for whatever you want to throw at us. You know, that's got to be the attitude that we come back with as a culture. Raising money for one case There's no one Allard trial anymore. There's no one R.V. Smith trial anymore.
There's all these little pockets.
There's just little trials going on, and they're usually people's personal defense funds, you know, and that's fine. Pay for somebody's personal defense. I would save the money for the constitutional challenge, you know, because that's ultimately what matters. First, they need to win before they're able to actually challenge. You can't really challenge the Constitution until you prove that the law is wrong. Anyway, I'm not going to keep going on too much about this. PTSD, schizophrenia, and you said not alone makes a big difference. Well, trust me, Theo, my friend, I know that there are thousands of us out there suffering. But what I'm trying to say is that I was on 100, anybody knows there are medications out there knows that diazepam's one that I struggled with. Now, I talked about it a little bit on my show. I usually don't, because it blows back on you. People use it against you. They use information that you give against you, and it's fucking wrong. And that's why I say this time of year, it's fucking wrong. I seen a guy the other day get degraded in front of me, and he was a friend of mine. He got degraded. Now, he may have fucked up, and he may be fucking up with his family and fucking up with his personal shit, but it doesn't mean you degrade the fucking guy. He's down. And he probably suffers from some form of PTSD because he has a past, like I have a past, like we all have a past. Some of us more than others. But man, if you have this and it's not addressed properly, it can be extremely scary. It can be extremely, you'll start to isolate, you'll get depressed, and it's extremely hard to fight. Now, you can take other drugs like I did, like diazepam, which is Valium, and it can make you happy, and it can be happy pills until they stop working and they start working in reverse. Then you realize that the doctor gives you one pill and it gets rid of your anger like that. And you're like, holy shit. You mean now I can be normal? I can get angry over stuff that actually makes me angry, and you know, I can wake up normal. I can actually go to sleep normal. And most importantly, the nightmares aren't there. They're not as real anyway. I still get little ones, but I don't get ones that fucking wake me up sitting up in the bed, you know, breathing heavy or sweating. And I think that that's the kind of shit that changes people. And it explained my mood swings. It explained a lot of shit to me. So I'm just using myself as an example of why at this time of the year, don't take it lightly if people are saying, look, man, I'm having a fucking hard time. It's like that guy in the tent getting sprayed with a hose. I wanted to take the hose and wrap it around the fucking guy's head for fucking hosing down this poor street guy. The old me talking. But it was what was going through my heart and my head, because it just seems so wrong. What does humanity come to in Canada when we are spraying our own children off the street that are in tents with cold water in the middle of the winter?
When our dickhead prime minister is traveling here, there, everywhere, putting money here, there, everywhere, like, you know what, we got people dying on our streets. Unless you've been, both of us are from Ontario. I'm an addictions and mental health worker from Toronto. I worked at the Toronto Harbor Light for many, many years. People call it crack corner. I never did. I loved it, man. I worked at Jarvis and Shooter. If you're from Toronto, I was in the middle of the pit of shit. You know what I mean? Right behind me was St. Mike's Hospital. I was in there often visiting clients. I was an outreach worker. I loved it. I lived it. You know, but it's really different here. It's really different here because people are permitted to live outside because the weather is different. When you're in Toronto, you're constantly under cold, under heat. You're trying to get people off the street because you're in fear for their life. The conditions are so miserable there.
Let me just correct Vicki on something here. Something to understand is that I'm also talking about this was never a problem before. There's a housing crisis. And I see my daughter. My daughter just went through this looking for a place to live, and I was so worried for her. Thank God she's getting her life together now when it comes to her credit. Because I never raised her to understand credit because I'm fucking disabled. So I'm poor to begin with. So I never really understood how to raise her to properly build credit, properly get ready for school, all that kind of shit. Anyway, she went and messed it up, but she's doing better now. But it's important for us. Where were we going with that? Fuck, we're covered.
Sure.
No, go ahead and pick that back up. I was going to say something.
I'm not sure. Stephanie, you know what? I love that you're talking about your daughter. Thank you for sharing so much. I think it's so important, especially when our kids are struggling. Our kids have a lot of stress. My son is in university. And, you know, I was talking to him last week and I said to him, I'm not even going to try to bullshit you, Chris. I can't even imagine the sort of stress that you guys live under. You know, when you live in this like selfie world where, you know, everything has to be perfect all the time and you have to have good grades and be, you know, a dancer and be a hockey star and be fucking perfect eyebrows and perfect hair and perfect body and perfect selfies and perfect Instagram and holy shit. So the stresses that our kids live under are completely different than what we did. And so to have like things like CBD oil or cherry oil or, you know, whatever cannabinoid therapeutic approach works in your house and your lifestyle, I think it's amazing that you guys were willing to seek outside of just, you know, what your doctor ordered to best support her health. Because I myself, after I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, I couldn't drive anymore. You know, these are really life-changing things for me.
But back to here. Again, I see people posting here. You gotta understand, friends, it's fucking freezing. We live in Canada.
Yeah.
So all that igloo shit, and you know, it's funny until this time of the year. And this time of the year, it's fucking the real. So our people on the streets, though we're on the West Coast, and though people are thinking, oh, it's not that bad. Yeah, it is.
It's getting cold, man.
Man, there's mornings I go out there, and nobody, I don't give a shit, man. We're a free and democratic country. We're one of the richest nations in the world. We're bringing over fucking immigrants into our country for fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars, but yet we're not fucking able to look after our own as we hose them off on the street. Canadian civilians born and raised in our country. Now, I don't care how that fucking sounds. I don't support Donald Trump. I ain't fucking trying to sound anything political. I'm telling you how I fucking feel as a Canadian civilian. That my motherfucking family, my motherfucking kids, and our motherfucking families, and our motherfucking kids should be looked after first and foremost before foreign immigrants being brought into our country. I'm with Donald Trump on that one. Bring immigrants in properly when we can afford to look after our own. But when our own are sleeping in motherfucking tents outside my house right now in downtown Vancouver, that's wrong.
Well, I don't know if I would say that because immigrants are a big part of I'm an immigrant. So this is where him.
No, it's part of how we got to where we are.
It is.
Now, no, hold on. No, that's how we, hold on. That's how we got to where we are. At the end of the day, there is a housing crisis.
Big time.
I don't give a fuck what our history is and what fucking blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah.
No,
I'm talking about the motherfucking here and now. People are sleeping on the streets and they're dying because they're so depressed, they're fucking shooting drugs or they're doing opiates and they're ending up ODing by accident. And nobody's taking it serious. And it's until somebody does. And we don't need fucking 30 people dying a night. We don't need a cold snap to hit Vancouver to fucking kill 30, 40 people. And we don't need people blowing themselves up in tents anymore using fucking goddamn Bunsen burners trying to cook their breakfast. And all the people that are working, that are living in their fucking cars. Excuse me raising my voice, but my God. This is honestly Canada. I don't give a fuck. People can sit there and pretend that this is okay. This is not okay. Focus on cannabis and how much money you can make off it. Focus on how you can rip people off. Get everybody looking left. But don't look at the opioid problem. Don't look at the fucking street problem. And yeah, there's a housing crisis. There's a housing crisis because everybody's running to where it's warmest to live on the street, which is here in Victoria. And that housing crisis is directly putting people on the street. And I'm talking working class people, people with university degrees, people who are not drug addicts, people who are not, down on their luck. People that were actually up on their luck, but down one paycheck. Couldn't pay the rent and ended up on the street. And didn't know how to survive because they eat you up out there. You need to fucking know the street if you're going to live up in that bitch. That's just the real. And I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing people out there talking to themselves. I'm tired of seeing people that are lost, asking for help, not understanding why they can't get help, and why we as a free and democratic country need to focus on cannabis and how we need to bring in laws for cannabis rather than how we're going to get funding to get people off the streets. Better housing and better addressing the opioid crisis than what we're doing, than allowing the Chinese to keep bringing it in by the masses through our fucking ports. Here in the West Coast and in Quebec. There's my rant for the day.
My rant's totally different, right? But it's similar. I would love to see our government be more accountable for the people that are dying on our streets. I agree with you there 100%. I think more needs to be done. I think more money needs to be put into this. You know, they go around, they spend millions of dollars. This is a fucking stupid thing with our government. Counting how many homeless people. They count how many homeless people are in Toronto. How many people are in BC. Do you know how many fucking, you know, because I used to work with this fucking stupidity on these boards and this bullshit when I was working. There was fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on some people like me, some community service worker, going out there counting homeless people. So the money that they spend on bullshit and red tape when they should be investing in small homes, community homes, those mobile homes, those sort of pop-up communities to get people off the streets and back into their lives, I don't get it here. You know, I was talking to my sister the other day, there's so many things that don't make sense. Like, here's one for me. You know what I mean? I have problems with my shoulders again, so they're thinking like, you should have another surgery. Well, I don't want to have another surgery. It would be a lot more, you know, less. Some people like me, some community service workers, much more less intrusive for me to go see the kinesiologist, and for the, you know, for the BC or my MSRP to pay for me to see a kinesiologist 6 to 10 times. No, they don't want to do that. It would be more effective for them to spend $100,000 for them to cut me open. So, you know what I mean? There again, in the stupidity and the regulations and the lack of health, right? The lack of health. So, you know what? If we could spend a little more money in helping people and less money on red tape and nonsense, you know, then maybe we'd start getting a little bit more ahead.
And I would also say if people took it more fucking serious. I mean, oh cannabis, oh cannabis, oh cannabis. No, there's the days of waving our signs and saying, hey, we're the cannabis culture. The days of that's over. It's time to organize and get together. If anything we learned from our Canadian history, 16 constitutional challenges, though they were successful, we don't have to wait to get arrested to challenge the government. I put the government on trial. We can put the government on trial. We can stand together. Or we can allow them to keep us apart.
Yes, you know what, Theo, I love handing out, so do I. Jason and I hand out joints. You know what, sometimes when I come around 7-Eleven, because we live downtown, there's always a couple of fellows that are there opening the door, waiting for change. A lot of times, you know what, it's stupid. In this goddamn fucking tap world, you never have any change on you. So I'm always saying, you know what, but when I open the door, I'm like, bro, I'm really sorry, I don't have any money. You know what? Once in a while I'll bring out a coffee and he's like, thanks a lot, man. It's amazing the small things in life, what you can do just to say, you know what, even when I don't have the money, just to look another human being in the eyes and just say, look, bro, I'm really sorry, I don't have any money today, but bless you, I hope you have a good day. It's always met with a thank you so much, and the door's open, you know what I mean? So I genuinely believe just like that human connection, that human
and Fred and Fred Fury, I wish you were out here, brother.
Me too.
You know, honestly, I mean, the work you guys do down at the CCC just blow my mind. You guys do what we need here in Vancouver. The British Columbia Capacity Club Society used to be that, but you know what? Hillary Black sold out.
We need you.
The rest of them sold out.
Yeah.
They all sold out or got shut down. I'm willing to open up. I'm Cannabis in Canada Incorporated. Look me up. I'm a federally, nationally incorporated fucking company, and I'm proud to say it. And I've been standing for 5 years. I'm well prepared to friggin' do a lot. And I'm proud for what all of our people are doing across this country. But we need to unite. We need to get ready so that when they do make their move, we can fight. It doesn't mean we have to fucking do anything about brands, anything else about fucking who has a bigger dick. Who cares? Who has a bigger dick right now is the federal government of Canada and the legislation that holds us barred to these stupid rules. And if they're going to really want to try to pick on us again with regulatory reform, well, bring it on.
Yeah, no.
And we'll see who's left standing at the end of that. You know? Dave Martin, I'm going to post your comment, but I'm also going to disagree with you. I would never say screw my vets. You know, my friend, I hope that I'm going to ban you from the show from this point. In fact, I'm going to put you in timeout for now.
Yeah.
I can't have you on my show and people like you on my show. You need to get off the show because you know what? I honor my vets.
Yeah.
And I don't care who they are. They fought for freedom and they've suffered, and they suffer from PTSD just like I do. It don't matter whether you were in the LA riots or whether you were in a fucking goddamn war zone. They're one and the same.
All I gotta say is only, and this is what really saddens me of people like Dave, it was only a few weeks ago that it was Remembrance Day. I don't give a flying fuck where you are. If your ass is living in North America or Europe you need to stand the fuck up and say thank you to every goddamn vet, because they lived and died for us. No matter if it was World War I, Iraq, if there's a peacekeeping mission, peacekeeping mission, and one of our Canadian vets is over there protecting us right now, I don't give a fuck where they are. Or if it was 100 years ago. Thank you for your service. And whatever we can do as a, whatever taxpayers, when I was a taxpayer, I loved the idea of some of my money going to the vets.
Let me say let me say something on the homeless comment. So you say that you say, who cares about the homeless and the vets? Let's worry about us. No. Reason, why do we care about the homeless? That's somebody's mother. That's somebody's son. That's somebody's brother. That's somebody's uncle. That's somebody's aunt.
Bro,
that's somebody's fucking grandmother, grandfather.
How many checks?
That's somebody's fucking blood. That's a human being.
How many checks away you are?
This gets into the moral compass thing. No, I've walked away from jobs. I've looked at doctors in their face and said, your moral fucking compass and mine are in 2 different stratospheres, motherfucker. Now, I might be a mean guy and I might be able to do some mean things, but my moral compass is fucking sound. Mm-hmm. I know where I stand. And motherfucker, I can respect my vets, and so should you.
Me too.
And if you come on my show and you want to fucking disrespect vets, expect me to put you in timeout, little bitch. I'm sorry for using that language, but fucking that really, really bothers me. Don't disrespect our vets. Everybody that gets to enjoy the right, just like myself, to sit here and run my mouth and enjoys freedom over tyranny, how dare you?
And I think, more...
And for the homeless, that could be any one of my fucking family members.
That could be me, because I think we're all only a couple of checks from there. And I think really to say fuck the people that are, those of us, you should never, right? You should always be reaching your hand down to help somebody get up. You should never be kicking them, back down. You should be putting your hand to raise them back up off there. Because it could be either one of us. You're absolutely right. It could be me next week. It could be you. It could be any one of us.
It doesn't matter who it is. It's a human being. And again, it's like I said, the guy that I walked by today, he could have been a vet. He could have been a former university student. He could have just been some fucking guy that fucking deserved it. I don't fucking know. I don't even know where you would deserve to be hosed off, except at a protest where police are trying to back you up with a hose.
And that's not right either.
Even then, it's a protest. But when you go and you assault somebody with water on the street, that's assault. But they just don't. I almost wish I could have fucking. I almost wish I was the lawyer and I could take his case.
Almost at the same time. You fucking talking. I can't even spit it out. You fucking turned that hose on me, bro. Oh shit. Right?
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have been a good day.
No, it wouldn't have been a good day for him. Right. So fuck that. But to see that our society, we've gone so far this way that we hose human beings, and all the people on Granville that were just doing their shopping, walking by like it was nothing. That's what kind of made me the most sad, was to see this 2 grown men scrambling above this grate, and everybody just walking by like, oh well. It's like, no, it's not oh well. Those are 2 human beings. That could be me, that could be you, that could be any one of us. And you know what? If you're going through a hard time and it's getting really close to Christmas, if you don't have anybody, plug into like your community center, hit your library, find some community access, some connections to humans somewhere. It's so important. Even if it's just dropping in to say something like, what's close to me is like the gathering place, and it just, maybe, I don't know what goes on in there, but figuring out whatever programs they have and connecting to that, or maybe going up to your local YMCA and finding out what programs are going on in there, or maybe there's a church close by that, there's a singing group that you've been thinking about joining. I don't know, I'm just, rhyming off shit. But it's a tough time if you're alone. There's lots of community outlets. Try and plug into some of them, because it can, you're right, be a really tough time.
Now let's get on to cannabis creams and stuff. So what I'm looking forward to is as I told you guys, I'm going to bring you right through this, what I do with my crops. So this plant has been untouched. It's been not manipulated. It hasn't been anything done to it, nor will it be for now. But what I wanted to show you guys is later, when I take off all these lower branches, is how we use that in our protein shakes, and we're going to talk about that. And that's part of the plant-based diet. Actually, I'm going to keep that in the shot. There.
Wrapping up soon?
Yeah, wrap it up soon, but keep it in the shot. But yeah, the having
we
this.
have a question.
What's the question?
It's a good one, because I have an answer for it. Oh, cannabis. About to place another high voltage. You are making a very wise choice, friend. Can you recommend any of the fire? I know what mine is. Right off the top. Do you know what yours is?
No.
Sour lemon. Oh, fuck me. I'm telling you, you're going to dab that. You're going to say, Vikki, you are the shit. I absolutely
Any of the
love
lemons
the
are
sour
good.
lemon. Any of their lemons are amazing. Any of their lemons, if there's any sort of lemon anything, he's right. They are, oh my God, dreamy, tasty, terpy, lovely, lively, get you up off the couch, get you doing some stuff. And it just kind of dances off the tongue. It's light, it's lively. Definitely my favorite. Jason,
It's also what you break out
LSD.
with your friends.
And you know what? Honestly, it's a really nice one. It's
You're right. The
really
LSD
great.
would probably be my top.
Jason loves the LSD. So the LSD, anything with lemon. I'm loving the sour lemon right now. I've had a couple of those. Oh, and also the strawberry cough. Strawberry cough, shit, you are going to cough, but cough in all the good ways. I would say those are my two tops. Oh, cannabis. Let us know what your two tops are. Yeah, those are my two tops. I'd love to know what yours are. Because everybody's a little different, right? And what works for you, I may not have tried, and I'm gonna love. Like Rob, one of Jason's, who always joins us, loves the sour amnesia, and I have to say that is pretty darn nice.
Yeah, sour amnesia is really good as well.
It is nice. It is a nice one.
But to each their own. What's good is about I believe that prize packs often go out that have varieties, and those varieties that are out there is kind of cool. David, you think I clearly don't understand sarcasm? I don't. And I'm about to boot you off my show completely if you keep talking to me.
Well,
so
you know what? If we took your joke out of context,
you're speaking to the wrong person
Hey,
about
you know what?
patriotism, my friend.
Sometimes that shit happens. If we took your joke out of context, then I apologize. Maybe, you know what? Sometimes when we write things, I know me and my sister, she's back on Ontario. We always say that. And sometimes it's a lot better to talk to each other than texting because things don't always transfer well. So maybe the way you wrote it and the way we read it were two different things. So if we did that, hey, we're sorry. No worries, let's just move on with the show. And you know what, again, shit happens, right? Always love, always good vibes, and about being positive, right? And supporting one another the very best way we can. That's so important.
Dave, you're gone, buddy. Have a good day. Anyway, you keep talking your shit, and you do what you want when you see me. I'm not hard to find.
Well, you know what? We're having such a good show and good vibes. I'm not going to let bad vibes sort of mess with anything that's happened here. We've had an awesome show. We've talked about some really good stuff. And I appreciate all of the people that have joined us tonight, all the people that have shared their energy, their space.
I'm not worried about going anywhere.
This community, I love.
I'm putting this little bitch back in timeout.
I absolutely love the cannabis community, and
I love you too, and you're back in timeout, bitch. Anyway, we're going to wrap up the show tonight, and again, I'm never hard to find, and there are people in there. I don't take sarcasm lightly. I do try to be as fair as I can on the show, and we try to keep the drama off the show. This isn't a place for trolls, pretenders, punks, and all the rest that like to troll around the internet and fuck with other people that are actually doing good shit for the community. So, you know, and Dave, if your stuff was taken out of context, then it was taken out of context. But you don't, you know,
Well, let me say this. It was taken out of context. We said that was, but then for you to continue to say some rude stuff, that kind of let me know that maybe we actually read you right.
No, we probably read them right.
I think we read you right. So you know what? We're not going to talk about that anymore because that sort of energy just isn't good for any of us. And it gives power to people that it shouldn't. Right? So you know what? Theo, thank you. Love and respect. Mad love and respect. Love the show. Love this community. Love everything about this. Man, if it wasn't for you guys sharing your knowledge with me several years ago, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd probably
on that note, sorry, we got sidetracked there. On that note, I had the plant over here because what we're going to teach you as we go along wasn't just, we went from the seed with this one and in the other 8 that go with it. We started from seed to show you right from seed to flower. But what we're going to show you is also how to take the leaves off, start adding them if you want to your diet. It's a plant-based diet. You'll find that cannabis is very rich in omega-3, 6, and 9, which is very important when you're trying to look or understand what it is. And it's very thick in fiber. So if you're trying to get that stuff in there, I wouldn't suggest eating all these. I would just suggest eating the leaves. And then, of course, remember, you're not going to get the cannabinoids. Don't think you're going to get the cannabinoids out of the leaves. Cannabinoids actually reside inside the trichome, and the trichome is, again, doesn't start to develop until you start photosynthesis, 12 and 12. You change your hour and your lighting and give it a couple of weeks. You'll start to have little tiny flowers that are worth blending, but I would suggest waiting till you actually have bud. And if you actually blend fresh bud, then you won't get high, but you'll also be able to get the benefits of the plant itself.
Hey, S&M, Douglas, what's up, Douglas? I see you online all the time. S&M Sweets, Medicinal Shop, how you doing, bro? What's up? Thank you for joining us. I'm just tuning into Facebook. I haven't been on there for a while, so anyways, yeah. Hey, what's up?
I'm trying to monitor both of them here, but yeah, there was the.
Yeah. Just want to say hi back. Thanks for joining us.
But anyway, and again, as we go along, as you see, this is exploded. It's growing an inch a day. So by next week, it'll be another 7 inches, and it'll be ready for its final transplant. And why I'm staging up is simply for the show. I would normally go straight into a 3-gallon pot and not stage up at this point. What I mean by that is going from a small pot. It's not a methodology that I feel is applicable that I have to do. It's more something that I'm doing so that I'm able to also bring it on the show, teach you guys stuff from previous shows going all the way back to 2007. Been doing this a long time, and certainly been dealing with haters and pretenders and punks for a long time that come on and just feel they can just trash you on your show. And without ever putting a day into themselves to try and help anybody, that or else it gets lost in interpretation. And that's what happens with me a lot, is that I get my back up against the wall and I get stuff lost in interpretation. So I got to watch for that myself. But that being said, that's probably not the case tonight. And I don't believe that to be the case.
No, I don't think it was the case, but I think what's most important is that, really putting your energy and time where it's productive, and that's not a productive space. So
yeah, and onward we grow. You know who came up with that was myself in 2012.
Yep.
Onward we grow was one of my hashtags that I used from 2012 till present, and I continue to use it. And most importantly, onwards, like Mr. Tusaw and myself use in our posts. Onwards, because we know that there's still a lot of work ahead of us. There's still a lot of changes. We've done an extra long show tonight. We've done almost a 3-hour show. But what we've also done is we've maintained an audience on YouTube higher than usual, and we appreciate that. And it's not always easy when you're dealing with different stuff. But I wanted people to get the right information, get the right time, and make sure that we're getting out the right information.
And before we get off, we were talked about in the new year doing some like community pop-ups, health and wellness. If you have a space, or you have a community center or a library, or you're running like a Calgary Cannabis Club out of your basement, and you want us to come by and talk and share some of our experience, strength, and hope with you and your community, DM us, PM us, let us know. Let's do this. The more of us that are out there sharing what works, the better, right? Because if you guys weren't online sharing with me several years ago, how, originally the RSO, the old, the Black Phoenix tears, I wouldn't be here today doing all the yoga and all the good stuff that I am. So yeah, again, if you're out there and you need some help and maybe you have a space for us to come in and share, we would love, love, love to do that. We've done some, and it's starting to kind of grow and get a little bigger.
The one thing I've learned in the past 16 years is I've helped a lot of people inadvertently, and I didn't even know it, and they walk up to me in the street and they say thank you, and it's a little trippy at first because they're often old men and they're people that you don't expect to be thanking you, but somehow you've impacted their lives. And that's probably why I do this show, and I enjoy doing it. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for fame. I do it because I love it. I've already done enough. I've done what every activist sets out to do in their lifetime, is to overturn a regulation and or law. I put the motherfucking federal government on trial, kicked their ass, and overturned not just a federal law, but an entire program, as well as remain having them under a federal restraining order. And I'm suing them for 42,000 patients in a separate case on behalf of breach of privacy. So for myself, I've already done my job as an activist. I'm just here reporting on what I see now. So for those of you that think I'm cocky, arrogant, or otherwise, that's where it's born from.
All right, Cannabis in Canada. This mama bear needs to eat. I did some serious hot yoga and I haven't really had any food yet, so.
What are we gonna order?
I'm not ordering anything. We got potatoes, rice, squash, got all kinds of yummies over there.
I don't recommend seed companies at all for autoflowers unless you're going to order from out of country. And unfortunately, resin seeds, the ones that I'm growing here, these ones I would recommend if I could, but they don't mail to Canada. So you have to have somebody in Spain willing to mail it over to you, and you have to be willing to receive it and grow it and admit to doing it like I am.
King Tut ones we can do though.
Well, there's King Tut. I mean, everybody has seeds. Like I have my own collection of different seeds, but when it comes to getting autoflowers specifically, you also got to watch out for hemp, because hemp is also another form of autoflower. So hemp and ruderalis, those are the two things you want to watch out for. Headache weed. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff that I could go on about for hours, and Vicky's tapping me saying, "Let's get the fuck off the air." So it tells me that I'm done, and I need to get out. So anyway, I wish everybody a wonderful night.
Congratulations to Douglas again. We look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, don't forget to send your information to us, Douglas. And if I do send you, if I do send you back and ask you certain information, don't be surprised. It's just because we're checking IP addresses and other stuff to make sure that we're not being played with. On that note, this is Jason Wilcox and Vikki Obrien wishing everybody a wonderful Sunday evening. And remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to show some love and care to those less fortunate than us and those that are suffering harder than us, such as our vets and our homeless. On that note, this is Jason Wilcox and Vikki signing.